And welcome, race fans of all ages, to another Thursday night after a break off from the holidays. Hope everybody had a fantastic holiday break there for Christmas. Hope Santa brought you all the goodies that you wanted to. If you're a little bit like myself, I had a little bit of coal in there, but it's all good. Gonna have a fantastic race for you tonight. We are here tonight for what is going to be the season finale race for the Fired Up Esports League in the Sticker Cabana Truck Series. And what better place than Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the running of Fuel's Last Dash for Cash, presented by Martin Sports. Should be a fun one as always. Nerditudes and Nerd TV bringing you flag-to-flag coverage of tonight's event. I am Dustin Ballistic Logston, and below me, again, the Dream Team duo back together for one final ride tonight is the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley. How you doing tonight, buddy?
Doing excellent, man. I love this track. This track and truck combination is amazing. You're gonna see some excellent racing out there. Not the biggest field tonight, but that doesn't matter. The quality is there. We got the drivers ready to go. They're hunting for that championship. Coming down to this event, man. Let's go.
Yeah, and you talked about championship as it is. There is a points battle on the line, and respectively saying solidly the top three are in solid contention depending on what happens tonight. Fourth place on back, it gets a little bit trickier just because the truck count is not in here as much, meaning that they are not going to have the possibility of gaining as many points back up, because they would actually need trucks in the field for that. But again, your top three really having a show of it. Being Anthony Crownover, Josh Benoit, and Cody Porter. Those three really trying to duke it out to see who is going to be crowned the inaugural Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, the top four are the only people really in contention here. We got Anthony Crownover with a 4-point lead. Kind of got gifted that from last week with the different circumstances. Over Cody Porter, who's only 2 points ahead of Jeremy Kors, currently sitting 6 points back. And then fourth place, Josh Benoit, 2 points behind Kors, 8 points back total. Fifth place is Clayton White, 13 points out. And, with 1 point per position, with only 11 trucks, contention is 0 to none unless we got a lot of people just randomly join real quick. But, second through fourth only separated by 4 points, and then 4 points for the lead. So anything can happen tonight. We've seen it so far in this playoffs. It's very possible that Benoit could pull the ultimate upset, take this thing. Who knows? Maybe his strategy, which is wild in pit road, maybe it'll pay off tonight and give him that position.
And it very well could. We definitely know that there is going to be a lot of strategy in play here. As you see, the trucks are taking to the track now for their qualifying efforts at this monstrous mile, but again, or monstrous track rather. But again, a track that's got so much history. It was a perfect ending to a season nonetheless. But it's going to be interesting, Jeremy, to see exactly how this plays out. I mean, last week we seen Anthony Crownover definitely capitalize on some bad luck that happened to a couple of the other championship drivers, being Benoit and Cody Porter. Porter having connection issues where he dropped out a couple times, and Benoit being involved in an incident early on that set him further back in the pack. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that goes to show anything can happen.
Yeah, and Anthony Crownover was the victor out of all that stuff that happened on. And apparently you're thinking of Dover, calling it the Monster Mile. It's actually 2.5 miles, so much bigger track. And this is one of the more, I don't want to call it normal, but we've been to super speedway, short track, road course. Now we're at Indianapolis, the famed track that's been around for over 100 years. And like I said, this track and truck combo is pretty awesome to watch. And I think, actually, I don't know what I'm going to think. I know anyone's in contention. I know anyone's got it up for grabs. But if we've seen the speed from Cody Porter and Jeremy Coors and Anthony Crownover, which has been around like Mr. Crownover has been like Mr. Consistent. You know, he hasn't been up there and winning a lot of races, but he's been in the top 5 almost every single week, which has put him in this position that he's found himself. But I think with their speed, Benoit's got, he got some work to do to make something happen. But, anything can happen. And, these trucks, I've been watching them throughout practice session, and they're so fast right now. All these guys got their setups dialed in. I'm watching Tim Henderson right now in qualifying, doing his second lap. That truck has not wiggled one time. This race is going to be awesome, man.
Yeah, it is going to be a good one. You had talked about this track and these trucks being so fast. I mean, some of the drivers, if you recall, Jeremy, Cody Porter said that this was his ace in the hole was Indianapolis. If you recall, he said Iowa wasn't one of his strong ones at all, but Indy was where he planned on really trying to make some moves, which is amazing that this track is the final track and he's that strong at it. Maybe not so good for Anthony Crownover and Josh Benoit, but again, like you said, Crownover has been consistent all season long, and that's what has put him in the position that he's in tonight. So, and we know that Benoit brings speed, Crownover brings speed, we know that Porter brings speed, but we have to factor in all these other trucks as well. I mean, you got Jeremy Coors out there who has been on a hot streak this latter half of the season. On a rail of his own. So, a lot of these drivers, you got, Greg Holt, who isn't in competition tonight, unfortunately. But, a lot of those drivers have been very, very fast. And it's going to pose for a fantastic race tonight. And, again, it's going to come down to exactly where everybody else finishes. It's not just where you finish to try to get that championship. It's where the other drivers finish before the points are all laid out, Jeremy.
Yeah, you mentioned Cody Porter's comment. He quoted it as his golden ticket. That was 3 weeks ago, entering the second race out of the 4 playoff races. And, looking at qualifying time, he's got the pole by almost 0.3 of a second. So that speed alone, he wasn't wrong about that golden ticket. So if he can stay consistent and put himself in that best possible chance, Crownover did not qualify. He actually did qualify. He got a really late lap time in. He's 0.3 back from Cody Porter as well. So if he can keep that time up and kind of keep Crownover in that 4th or 5th position, we might see Cody Porter take that position over to grab the championship for the Sticker Cabana Truck Series here at Fired Up Esports League. But it looks like the pace truck has hit the road. So, Dustin, as we all know, it's time to get our ugly mugs off your guys' screen anyways. We're going to go over the starting lineup for tonight's final race of the Martin Sports Last Dash for Cash, presented by Martin Sports. As I mentioned, Cody Porter is your first place person. Dominant speed so far in that qualifying run. Richard Malagani, who's come on kind of late recently as well, is going to start second. Anthony Crownover is in 3rd place. You got Jeremy Coors starting in 4th. Connor Hazel in 5th. Tim Henderson starting in 6th. Scott Martin, 7th place. Josh Benoit, who's got some work to do in the points battle here, is going to be starting in 8th. Holmesy, 9th place. Clayton White, 10th. And Jeff Converse, 11th place. That's going to round out tonight's last race for the first season at the Fired Up Esports League, Dustin.
Yeah, so as they are gridding up, we actually have something special. We actually have an in-rig race reporter, none other than Scott Martin himself. We are going to get Scott Martin on the horn here and just kind of pick his brain a little bit on what he expects tonight.
And Scott Martin should be with us. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, what's up, boys?
Hey, how's it going, buddy? So, first and foremost, I want to say wish you good luck in Indy. But what is your game plan for tonight? What do you try to pull out of this one?
Survival.
Survival.
We're being honest. Only 11 guys in here. Really hoping to get a top 10. I think that'd be great.
I don't think that's too far out of the realm of possibilities there. So how do you fare at Indy? I know everybody has their particular tracks. How do you fare here?
Well, up until yesterday, I've never turned a lap, but I guess I can't tell you that till our race is over. I feel good. I feel confident. I think the Lunatic guys just put me in an amazing setup, and if I get a 5-10 clean laps and get used to it, I think we're going to do pretty good.
All right. Well, I tell you what, I know that you have a fast truck underneath you, especially from the Lunatic guys, good group of guys over there.
Yes, sir.
But you know what? I know you're rolling through turn 3. I know you got to get in that mindset. So we're going to let you get comfortable in your office there, pull a little work, and get some stuff done. So good luck tonight, and we'll look to talk to you later.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, and that was Scott Martin himself looking to try to see what he can't get done, Jeremy, as these drivers are taking their slow pace lap around this long course. Pace truck is looking to dive off this time. There goes the pace truck. Trucks are lined up. 11 drivers looking to take the green flag for Fuel's Last Dash for Cash, presented by Martin Sports. Green flag flies. Clean start. Drivers stay in line for the most part as they are driving off into turn 1.
Go, go, go. Green flag is out. Cody Porter takes a nice restart there and clears Anthony Crownover entering turn number 1 to take sole possession of first place. They kind of single file out pretty quickly here, the top 5 or so, that is. They completely filed out before even getting to turn number 2. We saw a couple trucks actually, Dustin, start from pit road, like Tim Henderson and Richard Malagani. Not sure the game plan behind that, knowing there's only 11 trucks in tonight's field. So, actually going back up to second place, Anthony Crownover gets taken over by Jeremy Coors. A little bit of contact there, entering turn number 3. Little wiggle there by Crownover entering the corner. May have a little bit of rear brake bias set for that. I don't know, I'm not sure. It did cause a little damage there to the left rear of Crownover. Thankfully, iRacing does not have any tire rub, so there should be no issue with that whatsoever. They're currently discussing that amongst themselves in the race chat. But other than that, clearing single file for the first lap, Dustin.
Yeah, a little bit of damage on the right side of that 97 Ford F-150 there from the contact. As they were going in, I mean, it's could have been a little bit of net code that was there because it looked like the truck's kind of upset before contact was even made. But it's just kind of how it plays out. But as we were talking about in the Nerd TV pre-race show presented by Martin Sports, Cody Porter out to an early lead right now, and he did say that this was one of his strong tracks. This was his ace in the hole tonight, and he has got to perform to the fullest that he can if he expects to try to get this championship. One of his competitors right now is only 2 trucks behind him, being in that number 1, being Anthony Crownover. And the next one is just a little further back, being Benoit in 5th. So all 3 of your solid points contenders are sitting in the top 5 at 1st, 3rd, and 5th, Jeremy.
And that's what you want to see, right? You want to see your people that are contending for the lead to be up front. We see that NASCAR all the time, or it just happens to play out of Phoenix or back to Homestead, where you have your top 4 or 5. They're all, 1st through 4th, 1st through 5th, something like that. So I would not expect or wouldn't want to have it any other way. Cody Porter is looking like Jeremy Coors from 2 weeks ago at Iowa, where he's just kind of setting the tone here and it's kind of sailing off. His truck looks bad fast. Jeremy Coors is getting a little bit lower in the corners over Cody Porter, but that's not really affecting Cody's. He's getting a little bit of faster exit speed, but Cody and Jeremy Coors kind of taking off so far. Then Anthony and Connor, the team trucks there in all black. They're kind of just, hugging 3rd and 4th, looking pretty stout as well. And Josh Benoit, got to keep our eyes on him because he's the last contender in the points here. And being in 5th place, that's not where he needs to be or wants to be. So, we'll see what he's got in store for us as far as his pit strategies goes.
Yeah, and right now we're actually seeing these drivers kind of space out, which is not uncommon at Indy whatsoever. Porter is kind of spacing himself out a little bit from Coors. Coors chasing him down, and then you have that second pack being led by the 1 of Crownover and the 2 Crownover's teammate Connor Hazel. So you got that pack of 4 there. So you got the two Pro Rev drivers, and then you got 2 Hideaway Motorsports drivers. Those 2 Hideaway Motorsports being Josh Benoit and Clayton White. So team versus team right now. So this is probably by far one of your best battles going on right now, as you see the 0-6 of Clayton White going to the inside of his teammate, the 46 of Benoit. He's going to take that pass, slide right up in front of him. Good clean pass. Good use of the corner there as well. But if you go a little further back, though, Scott Martin is running solidly in that 7th position. So, again, he was wanting that top 10. We had talked to him prior, for his in-rig report there, just prior to the green flag, and talked about his goal was a top 10 finish. Running a very clean race. Looks very comfortable out there, too. And then you got to go a little further back before you get to 8th place of Ron Holmes. So Holmesy back, he was battling COVID last week, so that's why you didn't see him. So glad to see that 33 truck back out there on the track again in competition. It didn't feel the same not having him out there, but damn glad to see him back out there on the track again, Jeremy.
Hey, absolutely, yeah. Whenever you want the maximum amount of people you can get on the track, and to have someone that was sick. And with COVID, you actually don't feel really good for a few weeks after, just like most colds and whatnot. So for him to get back on the track so early is kind of a cool thing to see, and hopefully he's feeling much better than what he was last week for sure. I wanted to go back to that pass, since there's not really too much action going on the track at this moment between Benoit and Clayton White. I don't know about you, Dustin, but I've been guilty of it, to where you follow someone so close in Indianapolis. These corners are a quick 90-degree rounded corner, so he was kind of too close, kind of ducked down, then realized the corner was coming up and did not make the entrance whatsoever, and stood really high, and it allowed Clayton to kind of make a nice, easy move out of it. Yes, I've been guilty of it plenty of times. You just kind of got to know when you're behind someone so close. You got to know where your truck's at, that situational awareness, and it just kind of, you didn't enter the corner right and allowed Clayton to hold that position. And Clayton's been going on ever since here, as he's starting to make some work. He actually already passed number 2 truck of Connor Hazel, puts himself in 4th place, and he might actually have a mid to long range truck here to maybe contend for top 3, even as he's getting a little bit closer to Crownover.
Yeah, now, and you're talking about that mid to long range truck. So the drivers for tonight's event have 7 sets of tires that they have at their disposal for tonight's event. Now, with the size of this track and the way that the fuel loads and everything else are set up, it's roughly, you're going to be pushing about 30 laps per fuel window. So your fuel is going to run out generally before your tires really start wearing out. That's why, a lot of these drivers, you're seeing them, they're making a lot of moves early on. Clayton White here, as you can see on screen right now, putting the nose on the inside of the one of Anthony Crownover. Going to try to secure that 3rd place position. Does pass for that 3rd place. That knocks the one of Crownover back to 4th. So again, the 0-6 of Clayton White definitely on the move through the field tonight.
Crownover kind of, I noticed that too a little bit. He entered the turn 3 a little too sharp, and he actually had a lift on the throttle and on the steering a little bit there to not tag the right rear of Clayton White, who's just showing some mid-range speed right now for sure. With the you said 7 tires are in the pit road there, including the ones on the truck. That's a little bit more than what we've typically have seen with their 4 on the pit road and 1 on the truck. So a little more of a strategy, if you will, on that particular situation. Though with the amount of trucks and this big track that we're at right now, I don't know if they're going to blow through even half that set at the rate they're going. But we do have 125 laps, so it guarantees, to me anyways, every yellow flag, every chance they're going to come in and get tires, at least under caution, that is. So they're kind of spaced out for the most part. We got Connor and Anthony back, nose to tail, and we actually have Josh Benoit putting some pressure on them. Maybe he's trying to make some moves here with his teammate Clayton White already showing some speed. If they're running similar setups, then which I would imagine they would be, since they've been working together to get this thing dialed in for themselves. And so he might be able to make some moves here over Connor and Anthony himself here real shortly. That's really the only battle going on around the track, Dustin. Everybody else is just really single-filed and doing their own thing early on. And we see Cody Porter. Just wanted to update you on him with the lead. He's got over a second lead now, over 2nd place. So it's kind of nice, easy start so far to Indianapolis.
Yeah, and we're looking off the deck lid right now of our race leader, Cody Porter. You can look back, that next truck back there, you can see the white and the faint blue. That is your second place driver, Jeremy Coors. So you can see the distance just in the last 5 to 7 laps that Cody Porter has put on, or in between himself and Jeremy Coors. So he is, he's trucking. The big thing is Clayton White is making some big-time ground. That next truck back there that you see, that very bright-colored sticker Cabana-themed truck, it looks like it's closing in on Jeremy Coors. So, again, here in maybe about another 7 laps or so, Coors may have a little bit of competition on his tailgate there that he's going to have to worry about.
Yeah, Clayton's put on some excellent speed that we have not really seen. Like, he's been there from time to time, but typically in the mid-range, we don't see him, poke around like this. So him going for second place, only 11 laps in, starting off on lap 12 now. That's excellent to see, showing some good speed here. I'm not too sure on the time frame or the mileage that they have for the gas, but I imagine with this track, it's probably in the 30-lap range, which I would expect maybe 3 pit stops or so, but maybe 4. But yeah, as he makes up some excellent time there in 1 and 2, man, he put on some excellent time there. Jeremy Coors actually didn't hit the corner just right and just kind of allowed Clayton White to really come in close. I think, Dustin, within a lap or two, we might see that pass for second place.
Yeah, he's Clayton is making up a ridiculous amount of time. His cornering is where he is getting it more than anything. Which I get it as an understatement because, there's so many straightaways here, and, how can somebody be better than somebody else at the straightaways? You're going to get it in the corners, but if you can hit your corners better than somebody else, you can notice it drastically at this track more than anything else. As you see, Clayton White has closed up on the back of the 97 of Jeremy Coors right now, going to put some pressure on him as he goes to dive to the inside here, going into the corner. Trying to pass almost in a very similar fashion as what he did side by side as they go down the stretch. This is a drag race into the next corner, Jeremy, so this is going to be an excellent one. Should give it to the 06 of Clayton White as he does have the preferred line, as he is going to eke ahead. So mark down the 06 of Clayton White up to that number 2 position. Jeremy Coors in that number 97 back to 3rd.
Yeah, Clayton White started 10th, and he's now up to 2nd. So he's basically passed almost every truck on the track at this point. He ran 2 tenths faster than Cody Porter that last lap before he got to the back bumper of Jeremy Coors. And, yeah, he got down to that drag race there in the backstretch, which, side draft cancel each other out, and they're literally just having a stalemate entering turn number 3. But, with Jeremy Coors knowing that Clayton has the faster truck and the preferred line in the corner, and only being, 110 laps away from the finish, you kind of want to give that up. You don't want to wreck or, lose something early. So, as you say, he's pulling a heavy distance already from Coors since he made that pass just over a lap ago. I set fully on Cody Porter here. Exiting turn number 4. We'll get you updated lap times and distances away. Last lap, Clayton White was 2.5 seconds behind Cody Porter. We see Cody taking the start-finish line right now for the start of lap number 15. Currently now sitting 2.42 seconds, so about a hair faster for Clayton White that lap. And I think actually Cody Porter just grazed the wall so close, but did not actually. He almost grazed the wall in exiting turn number 1, which that could have been bad early. Which, as you know, Dustin, these corners are tricky too. If you let your guard down, these corners are such, like I said, they're such a sharp angle in comparison to most tracks at such a high rate of speed that if you don't time the corner right or try to push the truck a little bit farther than what it usually goes, that wall eats you up real quick.
Oh, and it absolutely will. That wall will close in very fast, especially on your exits coming out, because these are essentially as 90 degree as what you can get for a speedway. You're not going to get much more of a 90 degree than what Indianapolis proves. That's why it's such a driver's track. You have to have the finesse to do it. And so far, these drivers are really doing it. As you see, again, Clayton White is setting his sights on Cody Porter. Josh Benoit is on the move. He did pass Connor Hazel about a lap and a half ago, is now setting his sights on that number 1 of Anthony Crownover. So the Hideaway Motorsports trucks are they're definitely starting to roar to life here, so to speak, as we are on lap 16 of 125. So we are well into our first fuel run. Still a lot of space, though. This right here being your biggest battle, being the 46, battling essentially the 2 Pro Rev Esports drivers of Crownover and Hazel. The rest of them are pretty well spaced out right now, Jeremy.
Yeah, and I think right before, I'm not, like I said, I don't know too sure when these pit stops are going to be coming up, but I think right now with them being pretty spaced out for the most part, I think it's a great time to have a shout out for our sponsors out here with a quick commercial break, everybody. So hang tight, stay tuned. We'll be back here in just a few minutes to try to catch some pit road action for you guys. All right, welcome back, guys. We coming back from commercial break. We see at least one truck of Holmesy coming down pit road early. That might be a tall-tale sign of when that pit window might be opening up for everybody. Clayton White, since we went to commercial break, has actually dropped back a few tenths from their current race leader, who's led all 19 laps at this point. That's Mr. Cody Porter, that is. Everybody else seems to be on the track doing their own thing. Haven't seen any position changes to my knowledge, and Dustin, they're just kind of still doing their own thing and keeping it safe and clean out there early on.
Yeah, no, it's not uncommon to see the 06 of Clayton White not as fast as what he was. I mean, he essentially started 10th and had to pass a lot of trucks to get to where he's at, but he's got that ever so essential track position now coming up to green flag pit stop. So he can definitely get to work. He just got to be sure he nails that pit stop when it comes to green flag. Some of the movers now, we do have Josh Benoit has moved himself into 4th place now. He did during the commercial break past the 1 of Anthony Crownover and put himself in the 4th position, now trying to chase down Jeremy Coors. He is catching the 97 of Coors. So right now that 46 has that 3rd place in his crosshairs.
Yeah, since he has made some position, it does look like he has that similar setup that Clayton White has. Maybe Clayton's worked on this thing a little bit more than Josh Benoit. I know they're teammates, but he saved a little bit of something for himself, it looks like, as he is indeed coming up on Jeremy Coors here, who has slowed down quite a bit looking over his lap times, and that truck is falling off a little bit more than some of these other guys, and that is why you're seeing him almost fall to the clutches of Benoit. And you got the team right behind there of Connor Hazel and Anthony Crownover, which, as we know, Anthony is coming into this race as your points leader, but he's also currently sitting in 5th place, now 6th place. So if he wants to, actually win the championship, he needs to be in at least 4th or 3rd to make that happen for sure. And I know his teammate Connor Hazel has got to know that. And but we, like I said, we have over 100 laps still to go in this event. for the season 1 finale of the Fired Up Esports League. So, but at the moment, though, a few more laps, and we're going to see Benoit on the rear bumper there of Jeremy Coors.
Yeah, as we're on board with his roof cam right now, you can see him trying to track down that 97 as they get that long draft effect going down these long straights here at Indy. Now, you're absolutely right about Anthony Crownover, especially if Cody Porter continues to run the way that he is running. Crownover is going to have to get himself in a higher position there, because right now Cody Porter is setting himself up to try to maximize and get the most amount of points that any driver can in the event. His eyes are set on that win right now, which means that if any of the other championship standing drivers want a chance at it, they're going to have to push it. This is not the race to hold anything back now. I mean, everything's on the line. I mean, you're going to have to gamble it, as you see Connor Hazel going on the inside of the 46 of Benoit. So Benoit falls back a spot, does a crossover back on the inside of Hazel. Well-executed crossover, going to get that nice long run and side draft down that front straightaway. Passing that line of bricks there, going off. Again, the 46 of Benoit has the preferred line going into turn 1. Going to try to stick it, but Connor Hazel still sticking it there. Look at the strength of that number 2 truck on that outside. That is the most strength. It looks like Connor Hazel coming back on the outside to reclaim that position again.
That's one of those more difficult things to do here in all of oval racing, is to pinch off the guy enough on a corner where you know the inside line is preferred 99 times out of 100. But if you can angle these corners right and really pinch the guy down low and cuts off any type of run he can get on corner exit, that outside can work and maintain positions, as you just saw Connor do. And it actually has slowed up Benoit enough to let Anthony Crownover back to the bumper, the 46. He actually let up a little bit, did not want to enter that corner side by side, it looks like anyway. So he's going to, for the most part, stay right there. But Josh Benoit just cannot hug the bottom of the track anymore. And there goes Crownover to the bottom here. He's going to try to take back the top 5 position to give himself maybe a point or two outside of the points lead over Cody Porter. But you see Malagani now coming into the picture because they're getting a little bit racy, a little bit side to side. Malagani trying, he's going to draft the back of Crownover here, entering turn number 3. He did not want to push it 3 wide so early in the race. And Benoit leaving a huge gap on the bottom of the turn number 3, Dustin.
Yeah, a huge gap, and that is going to open the door for Malagani. The Fat Caterpillar himself on the inside making moves here prior to first round of green flag pit stops. It's going to be a drag race between the double deuce and the 46 as they are coming down the straightaway, crossing the start-finish line. Again, that inside line is going to be in the hands of the 22. He does complete that pass. 46 of Benoit is falling back, and Jeremy, I think you are absolutely right. It looks like that the 46 is having trouble keeping that truck down low, and that's where he's losing just a little bit of time here. But again, we are working towards the end of a green flag run right now, so this is where you're going to start seeing some of the wear and tear on these setups. That these drivers really didn't have a chance to know how they were going to react in draft around other trucks. As you see the one of Crownover now working on the inside of the 97, going to complete that pass very nicely. The 22 of Malagani looking to follow him through. A lot of racing action going on. Now you see the 00 Tim Henderson on the outside. Tim Henderson is a lap down, but he is on the outside there running the 46. So he's going to try his attempt here at passing on the outside, and he does complete that pass as well.
Pretty impressed by Richard Malagani at this point. That truck is stuck to the ground, and he's making some moves here. He's passed a couple guys, as we saw, and as you said, Tim Henderson is making his way with a lot fresher tires here. But Malagani now looking to the inside of Crownover, and he's probably going to make some quick work of him. And that truck has come on strong in the past few laps. We came back from green flag, or from the commercial rather, and he was just kind of sitting there, but he's just making some quick moves, and he's got one more truck before a nice long gap there between him and the next guy. And I don't know how much longer, as I said before, and we just don't know until the pit stops actually happen. But right now Malagani is making some good ground up, and I think the battle right now is actually for fifth and sixth, if I'm not, or sixth and seventh here. They're kind of, still too wide and trying to figure out where they need to be.
And we do have a couple peeling off down pit road right now. The 46 of Benoit hits pit road along with that 67 of Scott Martin. We haven't talked about Scott a whole lot since the start of the race, but he is sitting back there in that 8th position. So again, still on par for his goal of a top 10. Again, this right here is not uncommon. These will be scheduled green flag pit stops, ladies and gentlemen. As we are working lap 27 of 125, so that pit window was anywhere between about 27 and 30. So again, scheduled pit stops are going to get 4 fresh sneakers on those trucks, fill it up with that Sunoco fuel, and hit back out for another 30 lap stint, Jeremy.
Yeah, I thought they may go a hair longer than that. So lap 27 is where these guys have started making their flag stops. Now, I don't know. We'll see when the full field cycles through, but at the moment, yeah, it looks like they're getting close to the end of their fuel mileage run. So expect these other guys to pit real shortly so they're not caught in that scenario where a truck, for the 3 or 4 laps they're on the track and they're on older tires. That's just a huge amount of time that you lose if you don't pit right away. It's one of those things to where you have to pit right away or you have to wait a long time and kind of change up the strategies altogether. But I expect a lot of these other trucks hit pit road here real shortly.
And as you say that, your leader and second place truck, that is Cody Porter and Clayton White, both hit pit road for their scheduled green flag pit stops. By the time everything cycles out, Anthony Crownover back there as well. Looks like Crownover had to get on the binders a little bit. Might want to check that time coming in. Make sure he didn't get flagged for entry that was just a hair too fast. Usually that's a telltale sign that drivers are coming in with just a hair too much steam coming into the pits. Now that is going to cycle out right now, and Connor Hazel is going to be credited as your race leader with Jeremy Coors running second. They still need to come down for their scheduled green flag pit stop. I would expect that within the next lap to 2 laps, Jeremy.
Yeah, it's going to be happening real soon for you guys. Going over Anthony Crownover, he did enter the pit road actually a little bit slower. He wanted to make sure he was down and hit the line at 50 miles an hour, so no problem there whatsoever. So I do believe pit road speed here is 55, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely had the room for air, and he's fine. He's clear. He's good to go. But yeah, everybody else should be down here. I'll be in the next lap or 2, and then I'll have a fully cycled green flag stop. See Connor Hazel in pit road right now. Gave up his second place position. Cody Porter in turn number 3 is going to easily take that position back, put himself in second. And right now, Jeremy Coors is the only person really to come down pit road, just kind of getting a lap or 2 lead underneath his belt to help out with any point situation he can possibly make up here. I expect him also to come down this time back.
Well, let's not forget, we have seen that driver there of that number 97 Ford F-150, Mr. Jeremy Coors, has won at least 2 races on very thought-out fuel mileage. I mean, he is a driver that will start calculating fuel mileage almost essentially from the drop of the green flag based off of that first run there. And if he thinks that he can squeeze out a few more laps that may help him later on in the race, he has done that and has won doing that, Jeremy.
I mean, yes, he has. He did find pit road, though, but at 125 laps, he's pitting on lap number 30. So if he were to run 30 laps every time, his fourth stop will be at lap 120, which is 5 laps left in the race. If he's able to get 1 extra lap out of this machine per run, he might have to, not have to do that last stop and maybe cross the line on fumes. So he might put himself in that position to where he could possibly do that and clinch himself yet another win tonight.
Yep, and that's absolutely right. Like I said, we have seen that man do it time and time again this season here at the Fired Up Esports League. He has done it a number of times. So again, he calculates his stuff out. If he feels that he can do that, especially if he thinks it's going to go green flag, which is all the way to the checkered, which this race is showing the potential to be able to do that. That man is working some fuel strategy for sure.
Yeah, you just got to, like I said, just kind of extend that run by 1 lap, I think, a couple of these runs, and he might be there, which putting himself in the best position possible, being the last truck to take the pit road. He will cycle through here, and we'll see what position he ends up being in. Staying out will make you temporarily slow down, but that long run will have a little extra speed because he will technically have fresher tires. Cody Porter cycled back through as your race leader. Huge difference, really. He's got a 7.2 second lead, and before Clayton White and them came down pit road, they were only like 2.5 to 3 seconds back. So huge gains here by Cody Porter, and he's just got to just hit his marks, and he's doing all he can really at this point in time. So nobody around him really at all. The real battle here currently looks like 6th, 7th, and 8th with Jeremy Coors coming back on track. See Tim Henderson getting out of the way. His tires are a little bit older, so he's going to kind of fall to the wayside of him and Richard Maligani, who, like I said earlier, has also been kind of showing his face late in the runs here. So if he can kind of keep these tires clean this run, he should be dominant here before the next set of pit stops.
Yeah, and you were talking about the gains made in pit road. I mean, pit stops, especially green flag ones, can make or break a race, and Cody Porter definitely capitalizing on those gains big time. Is again, he has over a 7-second lead over second place Clayton White. Clayton White is got a little bit of competition from his teammate Josh Benoit as pit stops have cycled out. Benoit now sitting in 3rd. Anthony Crownover sitting in 4th. So again, all of your championship contenders right now, Jeremy, still in the top 5. And technically, your top 4 in points are sitting top 4 on the grid right now, being Porter, White, Benoit, and Crownover.
Yeah, that's I expect nothing different there, and a little bit different of an order than what some of these drivers might like, unless your name's Cody Porter, that is. And kind of comparing Cody's to Clayton White's time, we saw Clayton White come on strong early, but his first few laps on his green tires are not the best, and he's kind of fallen a 10th here, a 10th there, but I'm sure he's going to make that back up, as he was running 2/10, 3/10 faster even at some points over Cody Porter. So, but he's on his own little zip code there, and everyone's just kind of spaced out, doing their own thing, and so it's really, you just got to hit your marks, Dustin. Every corner, there's 4. It's not like it's an oval track where you have 2 corners that sweeps into one kind of corner. This one's 4 individual corners, so you have to hit your marks 4 different times. And to maximize your time here, if you just kind of hit those marks, over the next, what do we got, 90 laps left, that's a lot of time you could potentially make up. You just see Scott Martin right now going past Tim Henderson on the front stretch here. Tim just ducks down low. He knows he's got the older tires and just falls to the wayside there. But yeah, just got to hit your marks over and over and over. That's the only thing you can really do when you're spaced out like this.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a very, very monumental mental gain. You can really beat yourself up mentally doing the same thing over and over, especially on these long green flag runs, and especially on a track this size where everything is so spaced out. It's not like your Daytona or Talladega where it's pack racing. This track here takes a level of finesse that allows these drivers to space out, like Cody Porter over second place Clayton White after pit stop. So there's a lot of times where these drivers, and you see a lot of these drivers right now, Jeremy, are on an island, so to speak, by themselves. They're just out there pulling time trial laps over and over and over again.
Yeah, that's basically what you're seeing here is, and I know when I'm running iRacing time trials, hitting those marks are key there, because if you even get a 0x, you have to restart your time set, right? So with these drivers, you don't want to hit the wall or anything, because you're trying to get every inch possible, and if you try to slow down your truck by hitting the wall, it's just nothing but bad news for you. So just kind of keeping it safe, hit the corners. I think the preferred line really is to put your tires on that white line, at least your left side tires, that is. Maybe a hair below them. I know sometimes that you get pretty loose when you hit the rumble strips and whatnot in each corner, so just putting them on the white line, nice safety measure there, and that's all they can do at this point. Keep your nose clean, keep the door, as perfectly intact as you can, and keep those tires in check too, because if you overdrive like we saw Benoit do 5 or 10 laps ago before his pit stop, your truck pushes, and then if you push off the exit of turn 2 or turn 4, you have that whole forever of a straightaway to lose that time. So you want to really make sure those tires are in check for the long run to kind of help you once again maximize any type of speed you can find.
Yeah, and a lot of it, again, these drivers are getting in the mindset, Jeremy, that they're just trying to get laps, knocked off. I mean, 125 laps here at Indianapolis is a long, grueling, trying race for drivers. Whether you are on an island by yourself like here and you have to fight that mental propaganda, or whether you are side by side with a driver for 15 laps or nose to tail with them for 15 laps. 125 laps at Indy is a long race, and a lot of these drivers are just trying to get a lot of this stuff knocked off, trying to make those fine-tune adjustments on their setups as they go on. What a lot of the ladies and gentlemen and folks out there watching don't realize is these drivers are making adjustments that drivers can make, because every driver can make certain adjustments to brake bias, wedge, things like that can be done during pit stops. So every time they come into a pit stop is potentially a chance that they can make a finite adjustment to their setup and try to make it, more drivable, entering the corner, make it, better on the exit, make it better on the long run to try to conserve tires. So again, these drivers don't have the same, luxuries as real-life drivers. Real-life drivers, they just drive. They just tell their crew chief what the truck is doing, what it's not doing. Their crew chief then says, hey, we're going to make this adjustment, and the pit crew itself then makes that adjustment on pit road. These drivers are driving. These drivers are calculating their own fuel mileage, which the crew chief normally does. These drivers are figuring out what adjustments they want to make depending on how the truck is handling and how they want it to handle better. So these drivers literally wear like 4 different hats that real-life drivers typically don't have to wear.
But yeah, at this kind of track, you have a little more freedom when there's only so few people around you. So thankfully, in the final race, they have a little bit more of that free time. Whether that you go through that forever long straightaway or just whenever to make those adjustments. And yeah, you definitely can. You have some adjustments you can do inside the truck too with your brake bias, and I think you can do wedge as well in these trucks. I'm not entirely sure. I forget on the trucks, but there's a couple things you can do inside that truck to make it better, to drive better. But yeah, you have so much time to do whatever right now. They have the next 20 some laps to tell themselves, or ask themselves rather, hey, should I do this? Should I do that? But you don't want to do that forever, though, because when you're trying to hit your marks perfectly, you don't want to get in your head and overthink strategy, and you just kind of have to drive the truck and let the truck do its thing at the same time. So a lot of these trucks look stout, which probably, to me, when I say stout, I mean I don't see them moving left to right or getting loose or anything. So they might be a little bit tighter for the most part, which if that's the case, we're going to have to see some guys maybe step it up and get these trucks a little bit more on the edge to find some extra speed. Watching Clayton White right now, he was hugging that white line early on, and right now, he's, at least turn 3, he was struggling to find the white line. Turn 4, he gets a little bit closer to it, more natural of a turn there, but I actually see some trucks that are getting a little bit tighter than normal, which could be playing to the part why Cody Porter's doing so well, because that truck's just on a whole nother level, and I feel like that setup is definitely turning better. And if you can get that right rear to kick out a little bit more, that definitely helps the front tires from overcooking themselves, and long run, that seems to be the best route.
Yeah, and what you're referring to is driving it off that right rear. So it's a fine line. You want to drive it off that right rear, because then it's steering more with the back end of this truck rather than, as you said, really putting a lot of weight and pressure on that right front, cooking it. Because if that right front cooks and burns up, that's when your truck is going to start pushing and it's going to start plowing through the corners. And that's not what you want, but you also don't want to drive it off the right rear too much, because what will happen is that's when your truck will break loose. If you get it too too much to that free side driving off that right rear. That's when you have that loose condition as well. So it's a balancing game that these drivers have to do week in and week out. And these tracks, there's no track that's really the same. You've got some that have some similar features, but I mean, Jeremy, this championship, postseason that we have had has had all different tracks, ranging from Daytona Road Course, Talladega, Iowa, and now Indianapolis. I mean, it has been a different track every week for this postseason.
Yeah, and you can't really, bring one setup or one game plan from one track to another because they are so unique in one another that you just can't. There's no room for it, and if you try to, it might work by luck, but it can't be by setup-wise because you can't take your Iowa setup and go to Indianapolis. It's just not going to fly into a road course or super speedway for that matter. But I think right now we should do a little bit of a sponsor plug, Dustin, for those that supported us in Fired Up Esports League over the whole entire inaugural season. For this truck series, starting with the truck series sponsor itself, Sticker Cabana. So making some premium vinyl die cut stickers, huge collection of them. They look fantastic, cut perfectly every time. The quality is on point for these guys, and this is why Fired Up Esports League supports them, because the quality on the track shows you don't want to put a non-quality product on a quality brand, right? So you kind of match them up, and you're seeing quality stuff on the track and then quality stuff from the sponsor. Sticker Cabana, go check them out. They are the official truck sponsor of the Fired Up Esports League. And then we have Butt Kicker, which, Justin, I know you have one on your seat right now, that D-Box-like experience. Sitting on your butt, gives you the rumbles, the sounds, the feels, everything to make your sim rig as close to realistic as possible. With the combination of iRacing and that, you can't go wrong whatsoever. Butt Kicker, go check them out. Fired Up, you save 20% when you go to thebuttkicker.com/AFF equals 33. Use that link. Use the code Fired Up at checkout for 20% off. It is well worth your time, well worth your money. Highly recommend them. Go check them out. And then you have Nature Med, which they're if you've tuned in each and every week, they are the leading dispensary currently in the Tucson area. They're great for people with PTSD or if you have some pain. What better way to do it instead of going to the pharmaceutical company? Just go give some God-given, green plant to take care of it, which, my dad actually has started using it recently too, and he's had trouble sleeping. He's, 2 or 3 hours was dozing off, and he just takes a little, like a 5 milligram, chocolate bar per se, and then he sleeps 8 or 9 hours a day. It's not a pill that he's paying $40 for. It's just a cheap chocolate bar. It lasts him all month long, and so when you do stuff like that, saves money in the pocket. It takes money out of the people that don't need it per se. And so Natured Med, check them out as well. And then, of course, we have to end it with MartinSports906.com, the leading apparel company for Nerditudes and the Fired Up Esports League, which Martin himself has decided to give everyone that wins a playoff race, so the 4 drivers, a free set of Martin Sports Racing gloves, which makes, he's already done huge support for us and for Fired Up Esports League. And, for him to give up free gloves to each winner kind of really shows that he really supports, and people love his product. That's why you see him on the hoods and the tailgates, a lot of these trucks. And it's not just because he's the sponsor, it's because if you're someone like me and you really believe in quality product, then you're going to want to support it as well. So in return, it's huge. You're wearing it on your shirt. Mine's coming in the mail. It's a great product all around. I've heard nothing bad about them. So MartinSports906.com. Go check them out. Awesome product, awesome quality. But Dustin, when you get back to the racing action here, Clayton White's kind of fallen back to the wayside. He's about 10.5 seconds now behind Cody Porter. He's lost 3 seconds since I started talking about them sponsors. which was only about 5 laps ago. So Cody's, he might have made a setup change in pit road. That guy is, we already thought he was on his own zip code, but I think he's in his own country at this point.
Yeah, he is definitely on a rail. I don't know if he made any changes, because that truck was bad fast from the get-go. So I don't know if he's made any changes or not. But he's definitely in his own country. I do want to throw another one out. And no, we did not forget, because we cannot forget somebody as good as the iRacing iFlag. Typically, the iRacing iFlag is the official flag partner for Nerditudes. Typically, you would see it down on the bottom corner there that goes over the sponsors when the green flag comes out or when the caution flag comes out. But with the level of expertise that these drivers are using, we have only seen it once today, and that was the initial green flag. So again, iRacing iFlag makes the best race marshaling system to actually hook up to your sim racing rig. These things actually use 64 light emitting diodes, or LEDs, that will blind a trucker from space. You cannot miss a single flag with these things, ladies and gentlemen. I know a number of drivers out there on the track utilize these, but you will not miss a flag. You will not miss any type of heads-up alert that iRacing will give you. It will display on these things. They are a fantastic product. Couple that with their digital pit display is an even better tandem tag team. Will give you heads-up information in real time based off of iRacing itself, which will, again, allow you to focus on the racing and not so much trying to flip through your function keys and bringing up your black boxes. So, again, check them out. That is iRacingIFlag.com. That's the official flag partner of Nerditudes. Be sure you use promo code SUPERNERD to save you 15% on this amazing product.
Yeah, two things with that. One, I don't know if I'd advertise they're going to blind a trucker from space, because if it's right next to your sim rig and you're trying to drive, you might find the wall.
Well, you can tone down the intensity of it. I'm saying if this thing's on full intensity, it can blind a trucker from space. But the good folks at iRacing iFlag have made it to where you can dial down the intensity and the brightness of these just for that reason.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. It is fully customizable, and it's cool. It's, if you're someone like me who doesn't have that whole, multi-$1,000 setup rig where you're sitting in a chair that, that's connected to your screen and you got a steering, I just have a basic desk with 2 monitors and a wheel, and putting something like that, even just kind of to the side, kind of makes it a lot more like a sim rig. It's very bright. It looks just like the lights that are on the tracks that you see here today. I mean, you're not going to really see it flash because, they're so spaced out, and it's been a pretty clean race so far, but when you see that yellow light flash on the racetrack, signaling caution, it's just as bright. I've watched Scott Martin use it, and it illuminates his whole entire desk, even at not the full brightest setting. So, it's kind of cool. In that bundle package you talked about too, you get the pit thing and the light both comboed at a discounted price because it's a one bundled package. So, it's definitely worth checking out for sure. And yeah, 15%. You can't go wrong with saving money as well. So it's definitely an awesome product. It's kind of cool and unique, right? All these different products that we're talking about, all built for your rig, like the butt kicker setup, and then you got the lights, and then you got, it brings so much realism to your desk. It's insane.
Oh, it absolutely does. And it's great that, that we have the opportunity to partner with such brands like that as well. And not just Nerditudes, but the Fired Up Esports League as well. That's what it's all about, is partnering and bringing light to a lot of this stuff, because I tell you what, there are some amazing products out there, and there is some, just insanely gifted individuals out there that they can do some great things with what it is. I'm like, we had talked about Martin Sports 906. The apparel, I'm wearing one of the esports jerseys right now, the official Nerditudes Alpha model. As it sits right now, and it's like wearing air. Not even gonna lie, it's like wearing air. Perspiration, not an issue. the color and the design that sublimation. Scott's going to get after me for messing that one up. Sublimation, which is a process used to put the coloring actually inside the fabric, is just ridiculous, and the quality is, superb. And same thing goes for the iRacing iFlag. It's, the amount of time and effort that is put into this, the amount of programming that's put into this to help the drivers out and make their time there even better. It's an amazing network of individuals, and it's great that we have this network here that we can talk about and share while we're watching these drivers, do their thing. This is exactly what they're doing. This is why they enjoy it, man, is these races, these long ones, even as grueling as what it is, and these long green flag runs, even when stuff gets spaced out, these drivers are still out there. They're still getting it. They're still ripping it.
Oh, 100%. And I love to talk about these sponsors too, just because it's some things that people don't ask for, but when they get their hands on it, it's like, wow, why didn't someone think about this sooner? That kind of thing. So those lights, they're not too expensive, really. You get the lights and you get the butt kicker setup, and you get the full setup for your ultimate sim experience. And it's you're not even going to drop $300 on the setup, which is badass, really. So for as much time and money you put in iRacing, because you pay the annual fee of $100 if you don't catch it on discount. Every track and every car costs you money, of course. And so for this game and how much content that's out there, and for someone like myself who's been on this sim experience since 2008, so long time, almost 14 years at this point, that's a lot of money dropped on this game. So why not just drop a few extra bones and make it as much realistic and much fun as possible? Because it definitely improves everything. It makes you want to race harder, believe it or not. At least to me, if I feel like I'm actually in a race car, it feels good. So I don't do it just to shout them out. I do it because I truly and honestly believe that the product is worthwhile to at least think about getting.
Absolutely. As we got some drivers peeling down pit road right now. Clayton White and Malagani both hit pit road. We are actually on board with Four Arms himself, Mr. Scott Martin. He's coming down for his scheduled green flag pit stop. This is the second green flag pit stop that we have seen today. You see how comfortable he is sitting in his rig there, going to the service of his crew right now. So again, he definitely looks comfortable sitting in there. That's one thing that these sim racers have that the actual drivers do not, is our level of comfort in our rigs is a lot better than the real drivers. As you see, Scott Martin drops it, he crosses a line, and he is hitting those access roads to head back out there, Jeremy.
Yeah, and it's no easy task if you're trying to maximize your time on that exit of pit road, because it's a flat surface, and with the sharpness of the corners and the heat, not in the tires, obviously. You got to make sure you're not driving it in the grass, because if you do that, you're just in for some big time trouble. So all these drivers have been pretty safe so far. Cody Porter, your race leader, person that's dominating the race, he is in pit road as we speak, hitting the dime in 3, 2, 1. Truck's to a complete stop. Pit road crew is on service for that truck. Right side's up. Clean stop, clean entry so far. As long as he has a clean exit, he's going to set himself up for the back half of this race to be, just like the previous two runs, which is in a dominant fashion.
Yeah, Jack has dropped. He is off, now hitting those long access roads, which are some of the longest in the racing sim as far as speedways. They are brutal and flat and can play hell for drivers if they don't take them right going through. As you see, Cody Porter mows the grass just a little bit there. Nothing wrong with that. So Cody Porter rejoins the racing surface. That is going to cycle through right now as we are in the midst of green flag pit stops for our second round. Jeremy Coors is going to take your race lead as it sits. Now remember, Jeremy Coors was the last truck to pit under green last time at lap 30, so he is pushing his mark there. I would see him pushing it to probably 31 If he is trying to conserve fuel, I can see 31 to possibly, or 61 to possibly 62 rather, to really try to conserve and push that as much as possible. Connor Hazel now just hit pit road. He was sitting second, but he has hit pit road. That is going to put Cody Porter in second place. Clayton White moves to third. Benoit is up to fourth right now as he is trying to chase down the 33 of Ron Holmesy. Holmes Ron Holmes is having a very clean race tonight as well. Again, may still be feeling a little under the weather, but all in all, running a very smooth race. You see him pull down, letting the 46, his teammate, go by there as he is a lap down. So again, that's the level of sportsmanship that you see here at the Fired Up Esports League. So it's always an amazing thing to see, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, from time to time, people kind of rough each other's feathers, but at this particular league, at Fuel, you don't see that often at all, and it is awesome to see, as you just said, to have a group of guys that can get along fairly well, and maybe even if you don't like each other, at least they show respect, and you don't see it on the track that if there is any, mishaps, and they don't show it, so it's really cool. I honestly believe they get along just fine. Yeah, talking about Jeremy Coors there, he's still on the track at lap 60. If he does follow the same pit window, it will be lap 62. I think he'll come in. I think he's actually clutching it, Dustin, to be honest, at least in the corner. The truck's entering really slow. And yeah, if he does come down around lap 63 or 64, he might be putting himself in that position to forego that last stop, which by average would put him around lap 120, 121 with just a handful of laps to go. If he can extend it out to 63 or 64 here, which is in the next 2 or 3 laps, he might forego that last pit stop, and if he does so, put himself, one last pit, which is a huge time gainer, and actually might be on top of this thing if he does do so.
Yes, and that is confirmed. You are 100% accurate. He is clutching it going into each corner. So what that does, ladies and gentlemen, is that he clutches it and allows himself to save more fuel as he is peeling off down pit road right now. So again, that's right on schedule there, not to try to lose any more time on the track. So definitely some fuel strategy being played out of that 97 camp, but that is nothing that we have not expected from Jeremy Coors himself. He's definitely one that has been doing that at least the latter half of this entire season. He's been doing that and has gotten him in position and gotten him a couple victories as well. So he is in right now, still sitting in fourth. Malagani going to be passing him right now, though, for that fourth position. So, again, 22 to Fat Caterpillar himself, up to fourth. Anthony Crownover passes. He is up to fifth. Now, we haven't talked about Crownover as much here as he gets a little light in the ass end there going through that corner. So that's what we talk about, driving off that right rear a hair too much. But, again, championship standings, he's sitting fifth right now. He's got Cody Porter leading. He's got Josh Benoit sitting third. He's got Clayton White sitting second. That one truck has got to get moving. I mean, we are officially coming up to halfway through this event right now. We are halfway through this event. He is going to have to really find some speed and time on that track and make up some difference because every position counts. Every truck in between him and some of these other points contenders is another point lost. So he's got to get moving, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's got to be in 1 or 2 more spots ahead of him, which at this point in time, he's 32 and a half seconds back of your race leader. Richard Malagani, who's 1 spot in front of him in 4th place. He's 4 seconds ahead of Anthony Crownover. And then 10 seconds ahead of Richard is Josh Benoit sitting in 3rd. So, That's 14 seconds he has to make to put himself into 3rd, which I do believe at that position, 3rd is going to be the key bubble to get him into that championship spot there. I think if Anthony finishes 4th and Cody wins the race by virtue of the win, I think Cody will take it by a point, if I'm not mistaken there. So 3rd place is where he needs to be, and he is 13 to 14 seconds back of that. So I know you can't make too many adjustments to the truck in pit road, but he needs to find something and hit those marks nice and smooth every possible corner to try to take advantage of that. And he's got 60 laps left, so it's not like it's all over and done yet. He's still got plenty of time to figure something out. Maybe Benoit has a slight issue. Who knows? A lot of things can happen at this track since it's so long of a race, and with 125 laps, it's we'll keep an eye out for you guys.
Yeah, so it's still got plenty of time. Still, a lot of things can play out. It's a great thing about racing, Jeremy, is you have no idea what to expect. You have no idea what is going to happen. What we do know is happening right now is that gentleman right there in that 04 Ford F-150, Mr. Cody Porter himself, is walking away with this race, has led since the drop of the green flag, with the exception of green flag cycled pit stops. There's no control there. But under race condition has led every single lap that they have not been under a green flag pitting condition. So, again, I don't know if anybody is going to have anything to stop that gentleman right there, Jeremy.
If you were to ask me at this point in time, my answer is going to be nope, except for Cody Porter himself. He did say this was his golden ticket, so basically we're just going to call him Willy Wonka. Having that golden ticket and using it to his full advantage, being 13 seconds over second place Clayton White right now. So just nothing but great things coming out of that truck. We got a little bit of battle here for 6th and 7th looking through. We got Connor Hazel onto the bumper at Jeremy Coors. About the only action we're seeing on the track at the moment. We got Tim Henderson in pit road. Other than that, everybody else is single filed and spaced out on their own little islands, as you quoted earlier. So Connor Hazel looking to maybe make a move on Jeremy Coors, which is starting the race anyways in 3rd place in points.
Yeah, now, and you had mentioned Tim Henderson. I'm going to segue off here for a second, Jeremy. Tim Henderson is running a very special paint scheme for tonight, and it was actually a surprise to the nerds here at Nerditudes that he was going to be doing anything like this. So when we actually came into this race and actually caught glimpse of this, it was a very touching moment. It really was that we actually seen this. He is actually running a Nerditudes themed truck with "Thank You Nerditudes" on the back. So this is the season finale race for the Fired Up Esports League. As he gets wicked loose there, but saves it. What a save! But it is also the last broadcast that Nerditudes will be doing with the Fired Up Esports League. So again, it has been a fantastic season all season long. We've enjoyed working with the admins of the Fired Up Esports League. I've enjoyed calling the races with all the drivers, all the action, all the heated racing that's been going on, and we have just immensely enjoyed promoting the sponsors and partners throughout the season, because that's something that we love to do. So again, it was very touching to actually see that truck like that, and with a thank you on the back. And for everybody out there that's watching, and for Tim Henderson himself when he goes back and watches this again on replay, thank you very much from all the nerds at Nerditudes. That is greatly appreciated, and we appreciate everything that Fuel has done, as well as all the drivers, sponsors, and partners.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate it, Tim. And it's nice to see that, but that truck is sexy as well, man. That white nose on that thing is... I don't run too many trucks or vehicles for that matter with a white nose, but you made that thing look as best as you possibly could, and I love that skin. And the Nerditudes colors, helps out as well, of course. Can't be biased at all, right? So, it's just an awesome truck. Much appreciated, and this is the final race for us. So I appreciate you guys of listening and tuning in each and every week, and enjoyed having the chats open with you guys. And we haven't caught all the chats, unfortunately, but for the most part, we've tried our best, and it's been a fun ride to kick off Fuel. In general, for them to get a nice little launching pad and off into season number 2. Hopefully they have a better season each and every season after the first one. That's the ultimate goal, right? Is to get better and better and better. And so, and they got the right tools, right equipment to do so. Yeah, just thanks all around.
Yeah, and it's you had mentioned about the chat channels. We always have the chat channels open and try to monitor those as well. We did have fellow nerd Kenny Bishop, Mr. KB himself, ask, "What's up, nerds?" So he always knows the answer to that one there, but I think he always enjoys being the first one to say something. I think it's a personal pet peeve. Melissa Benoit gave a shout out saying, "Good luck, Hideaway Motorsports." And right now, Hideaway Motorsports is looking fantastic as we're watching the 06 of Clayton White running second, and his teammate Josh Benoit just cutting through the grass a little bit there, but right now running in third for the time being is at 22 of Rich Malagani is trying to chase him down. And Mr. Jeff from iRacing iFlag, again, great broadcast. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we always try to monitor those chat channels as much as possible. And Tim Henderson, who was obviously watching the broadcast while racing. Don't pull a Keselowski now. Don't be texting or anything else. But he did an LOL, so that must have been a shout out to our segment when we were watching or talking about his paint scheme. So again, thank you guys for the chat channels and the shout outs.
Yeah, if he's going to be a Brad Keselowski, he needs to park his truck on the backstretch under a red flag situation and just snap a photo for us. So Tim, if you can get a photo on the chat channel of your personally owned view there, that'd be much appreciated. You know, obviously don't do that. No, it's just a joke. But yeah, he's obviously got some social media going on that truck. So at least the truck's driving well enough. Other than that one incident where we saw you get loose, we won't bring that back up. But make sure you keep both hands on that wheel and keep that thing pointed straight, sir.
Absolutely. As Josh Benoit comes in for a scheduled pit stop. I don't know when his last pit stop was, Jeremy, but that it would have to be pretty close. So again, we know the 46 of Josh Benoit is known for his unorthodox, so to speak, pit strategies. Some have played out, others have not, and we have given him shit all season long about not bringing his calculator, but he is putting himself in a very good position to try to finish this season, hopefully with a championship win. But competition is going to be very, very stiff with Cody Porter and Anthony Crownover all being right there as well. So all jokes aside about the calculator and everything else, he has put himself in a phenomenal position coming into Indy to try to capitalize and try to gain himself another Truck Series championship.
His last pit stop was lap 52, so it was only 20 laps ago. So right now what I'm seeing is him pitting on lap 70 puts him 55 laps shy of the finish. And as you've seen these trucks go up to 30 laps on a fuel run, it's kind of like a little short pit scenario, right? So now he has to pit right in the middle of that 55 lap mark, so in another 26 laps-ish or so. So he's still got only one stop left. So he just kind of shortcutted it right in the middle. And it might be a little bit better strategy as, he doesn't have to run so long on a set of tires. And they just made easy work of Clayton White. So you see why the early pit stop might work to his advantage. It's more of a relaxed schedule for Benoit over his usualness, but including that calculator work that, I don't know if he's using the right calculator on the right settings. But yeah, right now it's just a nice little safe, relaxed pit strategy method here, which works more times than not. So we are seeing a little bit of the strategy. Haven't really been able to do so because there's been no caution, so there's not much strategy to be played, according with how the laps fall and where you have to pit and this and that. So the only strategy that you really need is what Cody Porter's on, which just keeping it up front and up to a 20-second lead almost. That's insanity. We thought he'd have some competition from Clayton after that first set of pit stops, and then from there, Cody found some extra speed and just been on his own little state, on his little island, just doing his thing, man.
Yeah, and now you were talking about strategy, and you're absolutely right, Jeremy. When it comes to these long green flag runs like this and the potential of a caution starting to diminish as every lap passes, I mean, really, there's only two types of strategies that these drivers can do. And we're actually seeing both of these strategies play out, and we're going to see how they're going to end up as well, as you see the 33 of Ron Holmes peel down pit road. But both of these strategies are being played out. You're seeing the fuel mileage strategy being played out by the 97 of Jeremy Coors, and you're seeing the short pit strategy playing out from the 46 of Josh Benoit. So Benoit trying the short pit, Coors trying the fuel strategy and trying to stretch it out. And we're all in suspense until the end of this race to see exactly how it's all going to play out. But again, we still have a number of laps left, Jeremy. Anything could happen, and that little caution flag can throw in there and just completely demolish any strategy anybody's working on.
Yeah, that would be... I know a lot of people are hoping for that caution, unless your name is Cody Porter, of course. If we get a caution, I mean, that's some excellent time to work on the truck and maybe get a setup more tuned to a shorter style run, which is what you're going to need if the caution were to even fly even right now. So, yeah, it would definitely throw a huge wrench into some people's plans. But at the same time, I think a lot of these drivers might be calling for it. Who knows? We've seen plenty of cloud cover here, and cloud cover kind of prevents extra grip in the track because it kind of keeps the track surface a little cooler than if the sun was out. So that's kind of helping keeping these trucks more stable. So everything is against a yellow flag coming out at this point. But, you know, we've seen weird things happen all the way going back to the first race of the season at Darlington, where Coors picked up 5 spots in the very last corner to win a race. So, you know, don't count anything out just yet, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Anything can happen, and that was a wild race there, and that was, like you said, that was towards the start of the season. So, I mean, it's we have seen a number of crazy things happen here, a number of wild finishes, a number of amazing finishes nonetheless, but these drivers here still duking it out for about another 45 laps. But we are going to take this time as they are starting to cycle through green flag pit stops again if they happen to take the Benoit short pit strategy. But we are going to take this time here to go to a short commercial break, and we will be back at you. While we are gone, on behalf of the nerds and all the partners at Nerditudes, enjoy the Nerds side-by-side action.
All right, guys, welcome back. Right now, the trucks are still about the same orientation as you saw them as we went back to commercial break for the second time this evening. And I was going over the racing chat as I was bringing everybody back, and Tim Henderson trying to have a little bit of fun here with race control. He's calling for oil in turn number 3, which we all know that's not the case on a virtual game, but yeah, he's definitely calling for some oil. He wants that caution that we talked about before going to break. So, yeah, Aaron's is really spaced out, and people want to get their trucks adjusted. They want to make some ground up, and when they're so spaced out, it's really hard to do so. And getting that oil caution, that might be such a bad thing for some of these guys, but having a little bit of fun out there. But nonetheless, Tim Henderson and Jeremy Coors, they're not for a position, but there's the only battle really on the track. And Coors still 20-1 second lead. Nothing's really changed since we left you.
Yeah, so you're talking about Cody Porter. Just doing a quick rundown. 21-second lead right now. It's what else could we say about this man? He has dominated Indy. So far he has coming through with what he said about Indy being his ace in the hole, so to speak. And he is definitely showing that as he's coming up right now to put Jeremy Coors, who right now is sitting in 5th place. He is looking to put him a lap down as he is Cody Porter is catching the 00 of Henderson and the 97 of Coors. 2nd place, Clayton White has held that position solidly since working his way up. Gets a little loose there hitting the rumble strips, but manages to keep a hold of it. Excellent job up on the wheel. Since working his way up from 10th, so that is a +8 gain right now. He is your biggest mover of the race as it sits right now. 3rd place was Rich Malagani. That could change hands right now as he is peeling down pit road. But the Fat Caterpillar has shown up to race tonight. Since working his way into the top 5, Jeremy, he has been in the top 5 solidly all race long. It seems like the longer his this run goes, the better his truck gets. Jeremy Coors right now in 4th place. He is running a very strong race again, working that fuel mileage strategy that we have seen Mr. Coors work time and time again. Going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Has led a couple laps and a number of laps under green flag pit stop cycles, but has been solidly in the top 5 the whole time. Benoit now in that 4th position. Again, Benoit started back in that 8th position. He is again up 4 positions from his starting spot. One of your championship contenders has been running fantastic all race long. Got a little tight on that early run, but has since seemed to correct that truck, so to speak, there to where it's a little bit more to his driving likeness, and has been in the top 5 most of the night. As it sits right now, Rich Malagani is now in 5th position. Clayton White going to drop down because he is under your green flag pit stop as he is coming back out again. Anthony Crownover is going to be the next one. Currently sitting 6th place before the round of green flag pit stops. Started the race up in the 3rd position. Has lost 3 positions since his starting spot right now. As it sits, he's definitely going to have to start getting something going here. A caution would definitely help that number 1 camp try to get everything back on track and close things back up again. Again, Anthony Crownover, one of your contenders for the Sticker Cabana Truck Series title. His teammate, his Pro Rev Esports teammate, Connor Hazel, has been running a fantastic race as well. Has been flirting with that top 5 and cracked the top 5 a number of times today. Has been doing a fantastic job all race long. Currently right now scored in your 7th position. Tim Henderson is being scored in your 8th position right now as he's trying to chase down the 97 of Coors. That is not for position. But again, we had talked earlier about that very sexy Nerditude's Martin Sports paint scheme that he has. And Jeremy, I'm not much for white, but the way that he has that working, superb. Excellent job. And again, thank you very much, Tim, for that very nice surprise as we join the racing action here earlier tonight. Scott Martin, down 2 spots. He did start 7th. He is down 2 spots right now as they are cycling through. We have talked to him prior to the race. We've seen him come in, do his green flag pit stop as well in his in-rig screenshot there, that side-by-side. But looks like he has gotten into the wall a little bit there. He does have a little bit of scuff on the right side of that truck. Scott, I'm going to give you all kinds of shit for scraping up that very sexy paint scheme of yours, because you give everybody else crap when they scratch it up for you. But again, still running a solid one, still on point, on par to finish in the top 10, which was his ultimate goal. Anything better than that is just icing on the cake. Ron Holmes, again, back in racing action for the season finale after battling the COVID sickness. Again, we missed him in racing action. We did not get a chance to talk about that last week, that he was there, caught a couple laps, and then parked it as he was feeling under the weather. Glad to see him back in racing action. Again, right now, solid in the top 10. Going to lock in that top 10 position. As the last driver that we have right now is Jeff Converse. Jeff Converse, do not believe he only pulled a number of laps, roughly about 14 laps, and then parked it. So don't know what was going on with that truck there, if it was mechanical failure, unfortunately. But Jeff Converse not able to finish out the Fuel's last Dash for Cash 125 presented by Martin Sports for tonight, Jeremy.
I'm going to double down on your Scott Martin call there with the damage on the right side. So what he's doing actually is he is promoting job security for the fab shop. He seems to like to scratch that right setup quite a bit. Keeps them having a job to keep on their toes each and every week and make sure that truck is in pristine condition. So that's all he's doing. It's just there for job security. Light scrape there just to buff it out. But that's how he works. That's how he rolls. Jeff Converse, lap 13 or so, he did pull down, did exit the truck. Did not really catch up with him. Do not know rather what the issue was with the truck. Most likely a mechanical failure, I would imagine. But iRacing doesn't like to tell us that. So we're just here to guess until we can, get a word with him, which I don't think we're going to be able to tonight. So, 75 laps down, 13 laps into the run. He did pull down. He is out of the event. So Scott Martin does get his wish of a top 10. No matter how hard he tries not to finish there, he will still secure that. Cody Porter, second place now is Jeremy Coors, 19.9 seconds back. So it's kind of a little bit of a change up there as Clayton White has been running second place for a good chunk of this race, falling back to fourth. Jeremy Coors right now, virtue of the points, he should be tied, if not 1 spot or 2 spots ahead of Crownover, which puts him in second place in the points. So it's not going to do anything for the leader, Cody Porter. He's going to be, sitting in first right now, just because of his dominant fashion. But Core is doing a really good job at moving it to second place. And if he could go only 1 more stop, which seems to be his strategy, that's why he's in second place. If we can just do 1 more stop, that might secure maybe even a W there for him.
It very well could, which would be the best case scenario that he could have there, because you can't, when you're trying to make up points in the championship standings, there's no better place to be than at the top of the finishing result charts. We do have Jeff from iRacing iFlag wanted to know if Scott scraped the iRacing iFlag logo on his truck, because he gave him specific orders to keep that logo clean. Jeff, I do not know if he scraped that logo or not, so that is interesting enough to know. It looked like it was a door panel, but I think the iRacing iFlag logo might have been all right, so we'll keep an eye out on that one there. It is a pretty big scrape, though, so you might have to hash it out with him afterwards. But again, this is what we're talking about is championship. You were talking about Clayton White right now had passed about a lap and a half ago Josh Benoit for third. He's now all over the tailgate of Jeremy Coors right now. Passes him nice and easy for that second spot and is now starting to take off. You see the speed that he gets on that. So just excellent job so far, Jeremy.
Yeah, Clayton White definitely has got much fresher tires over course. That's why he's able to make that easier work, because he's one of those guys who made that early short pit to kind of get some extra speed in that truck for his final stop, which I would imagine is going to come up in probably 10 to 15 laps, maybe even sooner. We got a few laps left before that pit window opens up for the final pit stop this evening, at least for the lead trucks, that is. Unless your name is Jeremy Course, who's trying to stretch that thing out. Right now, he is on lap 93, which I do believe he's going to have to pit here in the next lap or two. If he can extend it all the way out for another probably 1 to 2 laps, that might give him his final stop of the race. Who knows? He's teetering on the border with that, so we will see momentarily when he comes down, and that'll kind of give us an idea if he's going to be able to stretch it the rest of the way to make that run for the top spot.
Yeah, and as it sits right now, we did see that Coors is clutching it like what he was, so definitely trying to stretch that out as much as possible, trying to just one more stop that race. And like you said, Jeremy, that could put him in contention for the win depending on how that works out. There was roughly about 15-second difference in gap before Clayton White passed him for second place, so he's definitely still trying to chase down and trying to secure the best point battle we can. As you see the 0-6 of Clayton White getting wicked loose off that turn 2 corner right there. So Clayton White digging it, trying to get everything out of that truck that he possibly can, Jeremy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's almost go time if you're counting down the laps here. And Jeremy Coors, I want to go back to it's the only interesting strategy going on this evening. This is my book. His field run right there was 32 laps long, and there's 31 laps left. So if he can repeat that fuel mileage, this will be his final pit stop and pit exit of this evening, which we got one more for everybody else on the track that's on the lead lap. So this is a make or break pit exit here. He touches the grass. Don't do that. It's nice and clean, though. He does enter back onto the racing surface in front of Tim Henderson and Holmesy, and that was nice and clean, easy to go. He had a really good pin entrance as well, so he's got to keep that truck clean now, hit his marks, and he might be able to do this thing, Dustin.
Yeah, as he's really starting to push it there. You seen him get a little loose on those fresh tires there, but was able to correct it. Truck getting a little upset, hitting those rumble strips a little bit before heat got built up in those tires, but he has cleared the 33 of Holmesy and the 00 Tim Henderson. Henderson now all over the back bumper of the 97, but we have seen this time and time again, Jeremy, with the 00 Tim Henderson being not on the same lap count as the 97. Tim ran behind him pretty much all last run and essentially just pushed him, helping him down those long straightaways for the draft. So I don't know. I mean, that could have been a help that Jeremy Coors was welcoming there to try to extend and push his fuel run as much as possible, because that allows him to clutch it a little sooner and carry a little bit more speed through the corners before he has to let that clutch back out again and bring that truck under drive.
Yeah, so essentially, if whoever's watching does not know how draft works in that fashion, when you're the lead truck, you break the air. The air is just sitting there waiting for you. Now, if you're behind someone, that air is already broken. And so that's why draft works. You suck up to that bumper because you're not fighting air resistance. There's nothing of that nature. So when you have to drive through that scenario where you have no air to brake, the truck, you don't need as much throttle to get the same miles an hour that you want to be at. And so when you're not using as much throttle, you go ahead and you use less draft, or less fuel, and you can extend that mileage. Now, I don't know about you, Dustin, but I just see Jeremy Coors just kick off my screen here. I have not seen him return onto the surface. This could play into a little bit of an iffy scenario if he does fall out. So I do not see him back on the track. I don't know, but do you see him back on the track, Dustin?
I do not, and he has fallen off the grid right now and is showing at least a lap down. So tough break for the driver of the 97, as it looks like connection issues may have plagued Jeremy Coors, much as it did last week for the 04 of Cody Porter. So tough break if that is the case for the 97 team right now, as the one of Anthony Crownover is peeling down pit road. This right here should be his last pit stop for this race. So again, you see a lot of helter-skelter and off-sequence pit strategies going on, Jeremy, which is going to play interesting here in about 26 laps when our flagman is throwing that checkered flag, and we're going to be crowning a sticker Cabana Truck Series champion.
If Cody Porter keeps what he's doing up, he's going to be that guy. Crownover currently 1 lap down, so he needs a caution to get a wave around of some kind to get himself in position. We saw Coors fall out at this point, which he hasn't fallen out. As I just said that, Jeremy Coors has disconnected due to packet loss, which we all know is an internet connection issue. That is huge. So that takes him out of the equation. That puts Benoit in 4th place, though he's 8 points behind Crownover and 4 points behind Porter. So Porter has this thing all but sealed up. He's got to keep that nose clean, and he's the man. So we most likely will see that in about 26 laps. 25-second lead over Clayton White. There's only 3 trucks. 3 trucks, Dustin. They're on the lead lap right now. Everybody is 1 lap down or more. So there's really not much that Cody can do at this point to mess this thing up other than just slam it into the wall. So job well done. He did some excellent planning, and that golden ticket, like I said, he's cashed it out. Jeremy Coors is just connected back to the server. We'll see what the admins do with that, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think.
No, it's an unfortunate thing, and yeah, you are right. Cody Porter has all but cashed in that ever so elusive golden ticket. He will do so in 25 more laps as we just hit the 25 laps to go. As long as he keeps it clean, as long as no caution comes out, and as long as he doesn't have connection issues, much like the 97 of Jeremy Coors just had, or that Porter had last week, he should have this thing in the bag. But again, we have seen stranger things happen, Jeremy, in our many years of being around sim racing. But that's what happens with these long green flag runs. You talk about 3 drivers being on the lead lap, one being who you're watching right now, our race leader, Cody Porter. 2nd place, Clayton White. And 3rd place, Rich Malagani to Fat Caterpillar has put himself in a fantastic position right now, has been running a clean race all race long as well. Those are your 3 lead lap and only drivers on the lead lap right now that have any type of threat towards that leader. But unless they can close up this monstrous 25-second gap, I don't think they're going to be much of a threat, Jeremy.
No, none at all. Now, even 2nd and 3rd alone aren't threats to themselves. They got a 10-second gap between one another for 2nd and 3rd place. So the only real battle I'm seeing is 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're all within a second of each other. Even 7th of Scott Martin, they're all within a 1-second bubble. So that's really the only action and only position changes you're going to see most likely here over the course of the next 20 to 25 laps. And now Holmesy taking his final pit stop, I would presume, here right now. Of course, he's 3 laps down. He's not in any contention here, but nonetheless, it is worth noting. And yeah, 4th through 7th really is like your only real thing going on right now. Which that could change up positions in the point standing, because Benoit and Crownover are only separated by 8 points. So if something happens to one of them, they could lose even 2nd place in points. So You just want to make sure you still hit your marks, even though the championship for them might be over, but it's also cool to have at least second place bragging rights,
Absolutely. As you see, Clayton White is peeling down pit road to come to the attention of his sticker Cabana crew right now for what will be his final pit stop of the evening. As this race is winding down, we are working 23 laps to go. Again, Cody Porter out to a huge lead as Clayton White just hit the pits. That lead stretched out now to about 36 seconds over second place Rich Malagani, who is out there running a race of his own. So much like Cody Porter's in a whole new zip code, that's pretty much your top three. They were all in their own little island, so to speak, in their own little bubble. And caution is out.
No way.
This is going to change everything up, as it looks like it involved the 33 of Ron Holmes.
That's insane, man. We got to lap 90, or actually 103. Before that happens, we got some significant damage to the nose of Holmesy here. And as you're going to take us back to that incident, it looks like, looking at the replay here, he just exited pit road, right? And then the tires haven't been really warmed up to this point. He gets down below the white line, and then it kind of just upset the truck as he goes through the exit of turn number 4. Right rear kicks out and could not loop it around enough to avoid the inside wall. Smashes that nose right in front of some traffic there with Anthony Crownover rather lurking there on the high side, and iRacing had no choice essentially to throw the yellow flag because it was right in front of some traffic.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing when it comes to that is caution flag may not have come out at all, but that hard inside wall impact that just propelled his truck back up on the racing surface was enough for iRacing to trigger a caution flag. So this is going to change a lot of things up right now, Jeremy. And unfortunately, as it sits, it looks like Connor Hazel is going to be the recipient of the lucky dog, meaning that Josh Benoit and Anthony Crownover are still going to be stuck a lap down. This also looks like it is going to stick the 06 of Clayton White off the lead lap as well, and out of his lead lap spot that he had been running all night long. So again, this is going to change everything up with our possible finishing position. I mean, granted, that 04 that we're watching right now has got a rocket of a truck nonetheless, but this is going to change everything. As you see, Porter and Malagani both are coming down pit road to the service of their crew. Like I said, Connor Hazel should get the wave around and the lucky dog on that one there, giving you 3 trucks back on the lead lap. But again, those lead lap trucks, only one of them is in championship contention, and that's going to be Cody Porter. Josh Benoit and Crownover, they could potentially get a wave around if they elect to stay out because the leaders came in, so we'll have to see how that works out. But nonetheless, this is going to shake a lot of things up, Jeremy.
With this big of a track, you have to kind of just roll the dice, and I would imagine they're going to stay out and do what they can to get the best position possible. And if it was a short track, you probably want to pit, but that's being on a long track. You want to stay out, at least in my book, but my book's typically wrong, right? So, yeah, I mean, as much as Cody did not want to see a caution, this is one of the few moments of the race where the caution actually does not matter to him as much as you might think, because it does put only 2 or 3 trucks behind him in contention for anything. Though I think Cody has one of the fresher tires, and of course he has the fastest truck. So as long as he nails a pretty decent restart and gets cleared of everybody, he's going to be back to smooth sailing and, have no issue whatsoever. So you just kind of have to watch out for the restart, make sure you don't spin those tires, and if anyone does beat you to the restart gun, then you got to just stay cautious until you clear them, and then you're smooth sailing from there. So nothing too advanced for Cody to take care of. I'm sure you can do just fine with this scenario, and Yeah, for the people like Clayton White, they are going to be taking that wave around. Tim Henderson looks like he will be doing the same thing. Pace lights are off on the truck, so we got 1 lap left. Them two will take that wave around. Well, with Coors, who's entered back on the racing surface, he's 4 laps down after that connection failure. Josh Benoit also taking that wave around will put himself, I think, on the lead lap again. And that's it. So 4 trucks waving around. 3 of them will advance to the lead lap. But with older tires and, I don't think it's better for them position wise, but it's not going to help them, with any speed. And I think Cody's still got this one.
Yeah. Yep. As long as he hits his marks the way that he has, absolutely. So you are right. So Connor Hazel is going to be on the lead lap based off of the lucky dog recipient. Clayton White on the wave around will be back on the lead lap. Josh Benoit will be back on the lead lap as well. Unfortunately, with the way that things played out, Anthony Crownover will remain off the lead lap. So that is going to hurt his championship contentions right now, because he has no chance to get up there and race both Josh Benoit, Clayton White, and Cody Porter for position. So unfortunately, with the way the caution played out, and how the decisions that were made, he is going to be stuck off the lead lap. So this is going to come down to position battles for Benoit and White to try to duke out for championship point positions. But as long as everything sits tight with that 0-4 truck, everything should be good to go. As the truck does peel off, these drivers still trying to catch back up that long 2.5 mile trip around. Green flag in the air. Green flag does fly. We are back underway for the final 18 laps of tonight's event. And to no surprise, a 0-4 of Cody Porter. Clean start. Off into the wind, into the corner. But that 22 of Rich Malagani, we have seen that truck has some speed. There may be a little bit more left in that truck that we are not aware of, as you see the one of Anthony Crownover getting a little loose back there in front of the 0-6 of Clayton White. We know Clayton White's truck has got some speed in it as well. And with all these drivers now tied back up to each other, it is only a matter of time now. Most of them have fresh tires, so they're not going to hold anything back, Jeremy.
To quote Anthony Crownover, his comment after that looseness was, "Woo!" And then he started laughing. He knows that truck was upset, and he saved it, and it kept it off the wall nice and clean. And yeah, he doesn't have the freshest tires on that thing, and he's still 1 lap down, so he doesn't really want to mess up anybody on the lead lap or anyone fighting for a position. So job well done keeping that truck straight and off the wall as well. He gets a little bit loose there exiting turn number 1, so that truck is not feeling the greatest as the tires have cooled down with a little bit of wear. We all know it's a struggle the first couple laps. We see Cody Porter actually for the first time having to try to break some draft here, dipping down all the way to the grass. Very classic Indianapolis move, by the way. You see this often and no matter what motorsports that race at the surface. So Richard Malagani put on a strong little battle here with Cody Porter to try to keep up to that bumper. The draft is ever so precious at this track, even though it's not a restrictor plate. The speedways or the straightaways rather, are so long. Draft plays a big factor, more so than what you would think, and which is helping keeping Malagani right now to the clutches of Cody Porter. And Cody just got 16 more laps to go, and if he just keeps doing what he's doing, and I think if he can break a little draft and not have to be so aggressive with it, I think he's going to be able to clear him over time.
Clayton White hard into the wall coming off of that corner there. Looked like he tagged the apron or the rumble strip just a little bit, so he was definitely pushing that truck, just clipped it enough, and we were on board with the decklet of Cody Porter watching the action of Malagani, and you've seen his truck shoot up the corner into the wall, so hard impact, and you see the damage on the right side right now. So that hard impact, and here pretty quick he is going to come to the clutches of his teammate Josh Benoit, who is the next truck behind him to try to pass for position, and Connor Hazel still way back on that one. Not sure exactly what happened with Connor Hazel, that he he fell that far back, Jeremy, but he is well off the pace as well and well behind this pack.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to see that. I didn't think he was involved in anything, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Even ever since the restart, he's just been falling back and just kind of not with the leaders, but going back to the other two on the truck, the 22 that is, second place. It's an interesting battle here because no one's been able to touch Porter up to this point, so I didn't think that someone like Richard was going to have any steam for him, but this seems to not be the case. He's trying everything he can to stay in that draft of Cody Porter and keeping that truck as fast as possible, and he's hitting these corners really well, right below that white line, just kind of maximizing that speed on exit, which is vital here at Indianapolis. And he's getting down just a little bit lower than Cody Porter, which, right there you see him gain just a tenth there or so off the exit of turn number 2, because he's able to not turn the wheel so sharp, able to get a little bit more throttle down sooner and get that draft on the backstretch. He's almost to the bumper just because he had a clean exit on turn number 2. Doesn't do so well in turn 3, but turn 4, I think he's going to shine well right here. Gets that truck to the strip there a little bit sooner than Porter. They have a pretty equal exit that time, which for the draft is going to put him right back to the bumper of Porter here on the exit, or the entrance of turn number 1.
Yeah, and we're actually on board right now with Scott Martin is the 46 of Benoit is on the inside. These three trucks have been nose to tail, and finally Benoit and Scott Martin get by him. Woo, a little close there on that. A little bit of a bumper tag as the 46 of Benoit slows up a little more than what I believe Scott Martin was expecting him to, as we're on board right now in the cockpit as well as in the rig watching this race. The 06 of Clayton White got back by on the high side after that. So these drivers really duking it out as well back here as the leader's coming under a lot of heat as well, Jeremy.
Yeah, remaining under a lot of heat. Maligani's still there. Exit of turn number 4, nice and clean. He might be able to get to the side panel of Porter if he can get there in time. We see Holmesy back out of the server here, just a lap ago, so he is out of contention. Maligani with a great entrance into turn number 1, just as low as he can without upsetting the truck. He is right at the bumper. Cody puts a slight block on him. It's going to pinch off the entrance of the 22 just enough to where he's going to lose a little bit of exit speed. I don't think he's going to get to the bumper of him this corner, but he is putting on some tremendous pressure right now in these final 11 laps.
Yeah, he is. He is right there at that back bumper. We are on board on the roof cam of the Caterpillar himself. The Las Vegas, Nevada native. Really trying to do everything he can. Maligani has not got a win this season here at the Fired Up Esports League as of yet, but he is in the best contention thus far this season to try to pull one off, and he's racing somebody who has dominated this race all race long, and this is the most pressure that Cody Porter has been under all race, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that truck still able to run under pressure like this. Maligani is not letting up one bit. He is using everything up possible to try to keep up or do better than Cody. And if he keeps nailing these turn 2 and 2-4 exits, he's going to keep himself in that spot. Cody's just not able to get the exit speed like Maligani is on 2 and 4. Richard actually had a really terrible turn 3 right there. Kind of made him fall back a little bit, and he's starting to get a little tight there on exit of turn number 4. It's going to allow Cody Porter to kind of keep the advantage up. A little extra head of steam there. It gets in the start-finish line, and they're about a couple tenths now separated further than before. So he's going to have a nice couple of clean corners here to get back up to him.
Yeah, now the thing is these drivers are really pushing these trucks, especially with the amount of laps that are left in this event. You're talking 10 laps to go. And since the restart on lap 18, these guys have been going balls to the wall, hauling ass and punching the gas, so to speak, all the way through. So at some point in time, I mean, depending on how they are driving this, I mean, that can really heat up that right front tire and really kill their cornering going through these very, very sharp 90-degree-esque corners that they are doing. And you see the Cody Porter still working the draft there. The 22 and Malagani electing not to dive down and stay in the draft to try not to scrub any extra speed off. So both veteran moves by both of these drivers.
Yeah, there's a couple of factors that play into that type of strategy. Is one, if you're moving around, you're breaking the draft and you're kind of equaling out the speed. But second off, if you're moving left to right around the straightaway, Cody's actually losing speed himself by scrubbing tires, causing extra friction between himself and the track. So he's in return losing some speed. So Richard kind of knows this, right? So if he keeps his truck straight, he's actually gaining speed, just virtue of him not, causing an extra friction on the tires and on the racing surface. And then, you kind of mentally get yourself better prepared for the corner entry. So there's a couple things that play into his favor. You see him dipping down this time around, but keeping that truck nice and straight, doesn't really shoot back up the track. He gradually brings it back up. He knows a little bit of side draft, and if you keep that wheel straight, you don't cause as much tire wear. You don't scrub off some speed, and so he's doing a hell of a job at playing this strategy, playing against Cody's game here, and he's starting to reel him back in here, really.
Yeah, and that's why this track is such an amazing track, especially to hold a championship race at, is because there's so many things that drivers can try to do. And like I said, this is the first time in 115 laps, 110 laps that we have seen this 0-4 team under this much pressure. And Richard Malagani is just laying into him to the point to where Cody Porter has got to be spot on. He has got to be spot on accurate the whole time. If he has one slip up, the Caterpillar is going to be there to capitalize.
Well, entering really low into turn number one is not going to be that way. Porter really shoots up the track that time, and Richard is right there. If he gets a good solid turn two, which he does not, he stays a little wide. It is hard to judge that corner entrance when you're so close to somebody else, and so keeping wide like that actually hurts some speed on that truck, and Cody's able to maintain an okay distance in front of him. No real pressure from behind at that particular corner, and so if Richard can then regroup and get turn number 4 settled in nicely, which it looks like he will, really good entrance and exit. The truck's just looking a little tighter, so if he can just back that corner up a little bit more and straighten out that truck for exit speed, I think he should be able to make at least one or if not 2 more stabs at the thing.
Yeah, and the thing that's helping right now is it seems like Malagani's corner exits, he gains a little bit on the corner exits, and that's where he closes up, especially corner exit of 2 and corner exit of 4, which are the corners you are going to want to be better than your competition at, because those are the corners just before those long straights and that long draft line that you see these guys working right now. So you can see a lot of strategy being played right now, Jeremy, by both of these drivers, and they're running out of time as it sits right now. 6 more laps to go, 5 when they cross the line this time by, and this is going to be the race right now for your race win. Barring nothing else occurs, this right here is going to be that race win battle.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure, 100%. And to the untrained eye, it looks like they're just playing follow the leader. But in reality, the mental game is so strong right now, and there's so many scenarios that could possibly happen. I think Richard, actually, I've been noticing, especially in turn 2, his entrance has been really sharp. He's been whipping that truck hard down to the bottom, and it seemed to be working out so far, but it almost looks like if he does that too late, it's really going to disrupt something. But as he goes almost side by side here with Porter, almost gets to the right rear quarter panel, dips it down low, messed up Cody's entrance into turn number 3, and they're going to be side by side entering turn number 4. Richard keeps it nice and low. Great corner entry there and just cleans Cody Porter for the first time this evening. There is a green flag lap lead change. Richard Malagani the top spot with 4 laps to go.
That was an excellent move, and that was something that he had been planning and trying to work this entire time, and he did exactly that. He cut that desired and preferred corner entry off of Cody Porter, forcing him to drift up enough to get that nose on the inside, and that's what gave him that run. Textbook pass here at Indianapolis by the driver of the double deuce right there. And as it sits right now, Porter now trying to battle back here. Malagani holding the cards as it sits, but Porter, his corner exits, he seems like he struggles a little bit. He gets him going into the corner, but it looks like he loses a lot of speed coming off. That was a better corner exit there. But again, we're going to have this settled, Jeremy, here in just 3 short laps. If we cross the line with 3 laps to go.
For Richard Malagani, it's probably one of his 3 longest laps of his life, coming for his first win at Fuel in the Sticker Cabana Truck Series season opener. And, the 22, he did that textbook, and I'm sure right now he's feeling everything that I would feel at this point, which is anxiety. I'm sure if he's like me, his hands are shaking a little bit. His heart might be pumping, that adrenaline is going. Knowing that he could potentially pull off his first win. And I also wanted to make a comment about how beautiful this sport is. This isn't like no other sport. It's not like, in basketball per se, if you have a 20-point lead and all of a sudden someone calls a timeout, you don't lose your 20 points. You stay 20 points ahead. In this case, Cody Porter had a 25-second lead. It takes one flag, one thing on the track to happen, and all of a sudden they're tied up. They're back to square one. That whole entire hour and a half worth of work gone, just like that. And so it's kind of changed everything up, and Richard made the most of it right now with a lap and a half left. And at this point, Cody is just falling back. So it's such a weird but beautiful scenario to where this unique sport is able to allow certain things to happen like this. And for Richard, he couldn't have asked for anything more, and it's well deserving for him to kind of fight for that spot, for that lead the way he did, and then pass him in textbook fashion, as you mentioned. And he's got 1 lap left, Dustin, and he's going to take that checker flag home.
Yeah, as long as he keeps it clean. 4 more corners for the driver of the Double Deuce, none other than the Fat Caterpillar himself. White flag is in the air. He has got the 0-4 of Cody Porter right on his tailgate, nipping at him to make a mistake. He has got to be spot on for 2 more corners now. A straightaway, 2 corners, and a half a straightaway for Rich Malagani to claim his first ever Fired Up Esports League victory, driving the Double Deuce. As he dives it off into turn 3, still plenty of space in between him and the 0-4 of Cody Porter. 1 more corner and half a straightaway to go for the 22. Very good corner entry, nice and smooth exit as he pulls it down the straightaway. Nothing stopping him right now. Driver of the Double Deuce, the Fat Caterpillar himself, will drive to victory lane for the first time this season in the Fuels Final Dash for Cash 125 presented by Martin Sports. Cody Porter will finish second. Josh Benoit will cross the line in third place as he's coming off the corner right now to cross the line. What a race and what a turnaround. And Jeremy, you are 100% correct that 1 flag, 1 change, that 20-plus second lead gone and changed the outlook of it. But that's exactly what we were saying since the drop of the green flag. You have no idea what is going to happen.
Congratulations to Richard Malagani. Now I'm going to go back and kind of stir the pot here a little bit. Clayton White on the very last lap hit exit turn number 4, went down pit road. Hellish amount of speed. Black flagged, parked the truck. That put Anthony Crownover in 5th, Cody Porter in 2nd. There's a 3-point difference and a 4-point spread there between the two. I think Anthony might. We'll have to go and see at the end of the night here what the books say, but I think Crownover actually is going to retain that point lead in championship. We won't know for sure until we get official word, but we see the trucks lining up on the stretch here as they're doing 2 burnouts. I think Cody thinks he's won the championship. I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait for final word. We see Crownover and Porter actually going to do a burnout nose to nose. So this might be one of those things to where we don't know who's the champion.
And that very well could be. But they're lighting them up nonetheless for the season finale race. What a finish for the drivers here at Fired Up Esports. And it is too close to call for us to get the official call on that with the events that took place with Clayton White moving the number one of, oh geez, what a hit that was. Just blasted the number one of Anthony Crownover, did the 46 of Josh Benoit. Not sure what that was about, but nonetheless, fantastic race. You see the driver of the double deuce, Rich Malagani, to Fat Caterpillar. You see Scott Martin there from Martin Sports, as Rich Malagani is a Martin Sports driver, just like Tim Henderson. You see Henderson there giving congratulations to his teammate there on his first victory, in what better way than the season finale at none other than a track with so much history as Indianapolis, Jeremy.
Yeah, that final 15 laps definitely proved to be an awesome race there for a lot of people, especially Richard. I'm sure he is stoked to talk to us a little bit later on in this post-race interview, taking home the final checkered flag in Season 1 of the Fired Up Esports League and the sticker Cabana Truck Series. And what an excellent race he put on against Cody Porter. That was pretty impressive stuff to see the truck that's been dominating in a big fashion like he did, and then have some guy just come through and spoil the night for him just like that. So huge props to Malagani. He's been lurking. He's been getting faster each and every week for the past 5 or 6 weeks, and to capitalize and put an exclamation point on his past 2 months performance, I'm sure that feels excellent in his camp.
Oh, it absolutely has to. I mean, we all remember our first victory in the league, especially being there since the start of the league. Getting that first win is always special. It's not his first career iRacing win, but his first fuel win. So it's always a special one. And to do it in such fashion with such a good race between him and Cody Porter, I mean, those guys duked it out for 15 laps, 12, 15 laps or so, right around there. And they duked it out clean. It was good racing. So hell of a job by the driver of that double deuce right there, Jeremy.
Yeah, you can't speak anything but just awesomeness on his end to make that happen. So I think it's time to turn the attention to the drivers and have them have their share at their finishes. Scott Benoit, third place finisher. I think he's going to be our first person that we needed to have a chat with here as we get the final standings all situated and points figured out, so we can tell you who is crowned the champion for sure.
I hope you mean Josh Benoit, not Scott Benoit.
If I said Scott Benoit, that was only in the most positive manner possible. But
you guys
Josh, it's possible. I mean, you look like two different people out there. Apparently, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going. What's going on, guys?
We're trying to figure out who's champion. But in the meantime, tell us, man, how's that race for you? That was a pretty lackluster event there in the first half, and then the caution came and changed everything up for a lot of people, including yourself. How'd you get up in third place, man?
Luck. That's the only thing I can say is luck. I didn't have the fastest truck out there, but them boys at Highway Motorsports, they worked hard and gave me good setups. We worked hard all day, and tough break for Clayton. Tough break for Clayton. I feel like he had the winning truck. He had a super fast truck. I feel for Clayton. So huge shout out to Clayton.
Yeah, he that first run about 10, 11 laps in, that truck was just on a whole nother system. He passed almost everybody possible. He even got really close to Porter. And then the pit stops happened, and we're not really sure what happened. Everyone seemed to have a pretty clean stop, but then all of a sudden Cody was just in his own zip code doing his thing. So what kind of changes did you make in that truck throughout the night to kind of get that thing into that top 3 podium spot?
So before that, I just want to say the points are up. We do have a champion, and it is Mr. Cody Porter. Crownover second, Benoit third, Coors. Oh, me and Coors are tied for third. Huh.
There we go. Breaking news. Cody Porter, champion.
But yeah, back to the question. What was the question?
Yeah, the points are definitely a question there for sure. I was just saying, what kind of change did you make in that truck throughout the race to kind of get it back up on that podium top three? Because it looked like in the middle of the race, you were kind of in that point to where like we're going to maybe hit the top 5 part, but then that caution kind of helped prevail you into top 3. I was just kind of curious how the changes were made in that truck throughout.
Well, started out wicked tight. I started getting really, really, really tight. So of course I started going at the chassis on freeing it up a little. That didn't work. So then I went to some tire pressure adjustments, and that seemed to really balance the truck out when I did some tire pressure adjustments.
Yeah, whatever changes that you made definitely helped out big time. I'm just glad that you brought your calculator for this race. I mean, you wait till the last race to bring it out, but you still brought it. So
that was help from Clayton. Big help from Clayton. He's like, hey, why don't you go in the pits? You'll make up so much time, And he's a big help, And I listened to him and wouldn't be here without him. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Hideaway Motorsports drivers, you guys had some fast trucks. Clayton White was one of them. You guys definitely did your homework. You definitely did your practice. And we're definitely not holding anything back coming to this race here. When that final caution did come out, it was right there towards the interchange of the final green flag pit stops. Knowing you guys were going to have to stay out to get that wave around, how worried were you about the tires on that truck, knowing that you had been in on the pits, you'd already had some laps on those tires, and in order to be on the lead lap to try to gain positions, you were going to have to stay out for that wave around?
That last caution bit us hard. Like it hurt us. We were on pace to finish probably, I'm not going to say 1-2 because unfortunately, Coors, I don't know what happened with him, but he had it figured out, and he had the fuel mileage played out to a T. And I don't know what happened to Coors. He just disappeared.
Yeah, and Jeremy Coors, we know he's normally one to have that fuel mileage figured out just like that, and he was definitely on point to try to have it figured out again. It looked like he had connection issues, much like that plagued Cody Porter from 2 weeks ago on the last race that we had at Iowa, where it kind of jumbled the points up and put us in the position we were to make it so close. So unfortunate break for a number of drivers, Coors being one of them. Clayton White is another one. Cody Porter with that last caution because his 25-plus second lead got wiped out, but man, did it pose for a wild finish, though. So, I mean, overall, like I said, it was a good race. Hideaway Motorsports definitely came out in strength and speed. I'm glad to see that you were up here and got that third place finish. You say it was luck. I think you were just finally hitting the right buttons on the calculator this time. So
I brought a new one.
There you go.
Well, and I had a lot of help. I'm down here in Florida. I'm about to be on vacation, so yeah.
What better way to finish it and round out to start that vacation up then? So with that being said, we're not going to take any more of your time away from your vacation or anything else, as you're probably ready to get that thing started, get it rolling. This is your time. It's your moment, buddy. I know you got people out there you want to say thanks to. I know you got sponsors you want to holler out to. Floor is yours.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank Sticker Cabana, our primary sponsor this year. I can't thank you guys enough for the sponsorship. Nature Med, all the boys at Hideaway Motorsports, Brian, Holmesy, Clayton, Anthony, Brandon, Carrie, Chris, Tyler, I can keep going, Howard, Jeremy, all those guys, big thanks. And just, we wouldn't be where we are without those boys back at Hideaway Motorsports. Also like to give a shout out to Nerditudes. We appreciate you guys. Always enjoy what you guys do and bring to the table. It's always a pleasure watching the broadcast after.
We appreciate everything that you guys have done. It's been an amazing season. One we will definitely not forget because it had a lot of trials and tribulations, ups and downs, action-packed finishes, and some nail-biters to boot. So it was good all the way around. We thank you guys for everything that you have done for us and for the people that we have been able to enjoy these past Thursdays now for the last few months. The drivers we've been able to call on the racing action from start to finish. It has been a joyous event and definitely a joyous time to spend with you guys. So again, from the nerds to Fired Up Esports League, admins and drivers, sponsors and partners alike, we thank you guys very much.
We appreciate you guys.
And that is your third place finisher. He says it was luck. I say it's because he got his calculator working. He swapped those batteries out, or he got a new one. He said he got a new one, so we'll go with that one there. Mr. Josh Benoit, driver of that 46 Hideaway Motorsports truck. So, again, excellent finish all the way around on a surprise finish, Jeremy.
Really, the last stage there, things flip-flopped, and a lot of people picked up some positions. I'm surprised that the points actually weren't are closer than what they were. Only a 3-point spread. I thought it was going to be close to a tie. So some bonus points, I guess, played out in the favor of Porter, who's ended up, I guess, with 39 bonus points to Crownover's 21. That played a huge factor into that, I do suppose. So, but we need to bring in second place finisher and the inaugural season championship winner. That's going to be Mr. Cody Porter himself. Cody Porter, congratulations on second place podium finish, but better yet, the inaugural season championship for the Sticker Cabana Truck Series. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, hell of a job out there. Up until that caution, that is, you still did a hell of a job, but I was commenting during the race that as Dustin's doing a nice little shimmy dance for you, this sport is very unique, right? You have this 25-second lead. You got this thing. It's under control. No problem. One flag, and all of a sudden you're fighting for your life. Walk us through that restart and what can you might have done differently because your truck was so dominant early on.
Yeah, so we worked on the setup quite a bit. We tweaked some stuff, figured out some stuff. We knew what the other guys were doing, and we decided to go the opposite way. And I think it played out for the long run setup-wise. Because, I mean, like you said, I think we had a 25-second lead over Richard before that caution came out, which is insane. We pitted and we were going to loosen up a little bit because I was kind of tight at the start, and it kind of transitioned to being tight later on, unless I saved the tires to the start of the run, which I've said couldn't because Richard was up my ass. So I kind of kicked myself in the ass for not tweaking it a little bit more in the pit stop. I think we could have got him, but oh well. So championship win. That's all that matters, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer because when Crownover finished fifth, I was like, oh, it's only 3 points back and there's a 4-point spread. And I was like, maybe. But no, you only with 14 starts, and some people, there was a 16 truck series race and you did 14 of the 16 races and you're still able to pull it off. The playoffs came key for you in that end, and plus all your bonus points kind of piled in. So 100%. Just absolutely, yeah. And so I just want to give you, big props on being very consistent, winning multiple races, and doing a hell of a job each and every week. Minus the 2 races you missed, but other than that, I know you were kind of sidelined early on, and you kind of put it in their face and said, "Hey, this is what I'm here for," and you still got the job done. So, I mean, sure. On my end, I really don't have any other questions for you. I just want to say congratulations on the championship, awesome performance overall, and I'm going to kick it over to Dustin.
Thank you.
I tell you what, man, that was a hell of a performance all season long. You did not lie. You said that Indianapolis was going to be your ace in the hole. That was your golden Willy Wonka ticket, as Jeremy so well put it. And you did not disappoint, man. From the drop of the green flag, you took off. You had a rocket. And that is as much of an understatement as anybody can even remotely say about the performance you put on. I tell you what, it's I'm proud of you. It was a damn good show. It was a damn good postseason for you, and I know that you weren't happy with the events that took place 2 weeks ago at Iowa with the connection issues. What was going through your mind back then? Because we didn't get a chance to talk to you then. But now that I'm talking to the Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion, what was going through your mind at that point in time with the point standings?
Well, as soon as I lost connection, I thought we were done for. I was like, shoot, I hope it comes on soon so I can at least get some laps in, see if I can get some points back. And we were fortunate. I think we got up 2 more spots. I think that's what actually put us over. I think we're 3 points ahead of Anthony. So if I didn't join back, I think we'd be looking at a different champion.
It very well could have. I tell you what, it put on down to the point Jeremy and I didn't even know, because we knew it was that close, on who the champion, who was going to be crowned. And we're like, we're going to have to wait for confirmation on that because we have no idea. That's the kind of championships that people love to see. And 100%. And I know that's the kind of championships that drivers like to be a part of too, because it just brings that competitive nature out. Now, with that 20 to go, that 22 to go caution that came out, like Jeremy said, your lead was wiped out. But I tell you what, the level of racing that you and Malagani put on for like 12 to 14 solid laps, not once touching each other, racing each other clean and hard. You guys were blistering and just ripping it. That it was, I don't think the cameras really left you guys that entire time. It was pretty much locked on you guys that whole time. Walk us through, how did it feel to race like that? I mean, even though you didn't get the win, but I mean, just that level of competition and respect for those 14 laps before he finally was able to pass you.
Yeah, as a race, you always look forward to racing somebody clean. You know, you hate to get beat, but if you get beat by someone that races you clean, then it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. So I can't complain there. I do know when the caution came out, we were worried because we knew Richard has a fast truck, Clayton had a fast truck, but Clayton, he was on old tires. I didn't think he was really too big of a concern unless we got another caution, and then I thought we were going to have to duke it up between 3 of us. Because like I said earlier, at the start of the run, we were saving tires, and then mid to end of the run, we were able to pull out 2 to 3 tenths faster than everybody else. But having to push at the start like that to fend off Richard, I just couldn't do it. I burned up the right front way too much, trying to swerve, keeping him out of the drafts. It just wasn't working for us.
I tell you what, though, you finished exactly where you needed to finish, and that was the Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion. So you did exactly what you needed to as a driver, big picture-wise, from myself, Mr. J. Stan, all the nerds involved at Nerditudes and Nerd TV. We want to congratulate you on a fantastic season and a even better postseason to be crowned the inaugural Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion, buddy.
Thank you guys so much. It means a lot.
And I tell you what, we're going to let you celebrate because I know you've been looking forward to it, but this is your time. I know that there's people out there that you want to say thanks to. There's sponsors and everybody that you want to shout out to. The floor is yours, champ.
I gotta thank Money Shift Media. Without them, I couldn't fund any of this. Money Shift Racing, me, Anthony, Connor, Oscar Jensen, all of us, we sat down, we just put time aside and just tore at the setup. We tried. I think this is version like 27 of our setup. So I gotta thank them for all the time. Thank you guys for the awesome stream.
And we appreciate it. We appreciate having the ability to call all the racing action, the ups, the downs, the excitement, the heartbreak. But all in all, it was an awesome season. Glad to see that they have somebody of your caliber crown the Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion. So again, from everybody here at the Nerds, all of our partners and sponsors, congratulations again, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys. Have a good one.
You as well. That is your second place finisher. Driver of the 04 Ford F-150, Mr. Cody Porter. Second on the track, first in the championship standings. That is your official Sticker Cabana Truck Series champion.
And that's going to leave one more person to talk to. First win of the entire season, coming in at the very last race of the season. Richard Malagani, you got a copy.
10-4.
Welcome to the winner's seat in the podium, man. How does it feel?
It feels so damn good. Yeah, did you see that?
I love the energy. I know you'd be excited for this one, man. It's a long time coming. You've been putting in some work each and every week for the past 2 months or so, getting better and better and better. And what way to put a staple on the end of the season by getting that win here. That caution proved everything, man. What was your mindset? What kind of changes did you make to that truck during the only caution of today's race?
I didn't change a thing. Let me tell you, the Nitro boys, they know what they're doing. This setup was rocking. I made a minute change in the middle, one of the fuel runs in the middle, just to see what it would do. And I mean, it changed it a little bit, but I ended up going back and back to just the original, what I put in. And I think the weather was a little different than what we had randomly put in practice the session before this. I put a 4-hour session up this afternoon, right up till the race, and we actually went in and scrapped the set we've been building a set for 6 weeks, I think the team has, and we scrapped it and got some special help. And man, I want to thank Tim Marlowe. He is a boss at this, and Tim and Russ over there at Nitro, they really know what they're doing. They've really helped me a lot.
That's a beautiful comment there that you said about putting all that work and time into that setup. I talked to some people and they're like, yeah, I just threw it together in 15 minutes and went out there and did my thing and it worked. You're like, we grinded for 6 weeks. We put up 4-hour-long sessions. And when you see a hard work pay off like that, I heard that in your excitement when I brought you in here. That just brings everything together and completes, this race, this whole last 8 weeks of your hard work. And, I just got to say congratulations and nice job on that victory. Nice job. Nice clean pass over Cody Porter, who dominated this event. And I'm going to pass it off to Dustin.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeremy, so much, man. We really appreciate what you do for all of us. I'm sure that all the guys do. You really do a great job up there.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that as well.
Mr. Caterpillar himself. Do you know how long I have been waiting to interview you in Victory Lane this season?
Let me tell you, it's been a long time since I think before the season. I've been waiting to get up here too. I knew it was going to be hard.
I tell you what, though, I mean, you did it in an excellent fashion and put on a hell of a show in those final 18 laps once the green flag flew for that restart, man. I tell you what, you had been lurking that entire race, staying up at the top 5, doing your thing, running good. What was going through your head when that final caution came out, knowing that it was going to close everything up? Did you feel at that moment that this was your time, that you had the truck to beat Cody Porter, who had dominated the race that whole time?
Well, you never can really say that you're gonna win, but because Cody's a fabulous driver. He's fantastic. I mean, ever since at the first race at Darlington or whatever it was after Daytona, I mean, we knew that he was stupid fast, and they put in a lot of work. And I knew when the caution came out, I'd actually have a chance because I put the qualifying set in for the race and had to leave, outside pole and come back into the pits and start in the pits. So I thought maybe we were just going to have bad luck all race because my pit thing didn't come down on the first stop, and I made it all the way back up to the top 5, and I didn't know exactly where to stop. So first it was too far left, then it was too far forward, then it was too far back, and so I had to do that on pit road that first caution. So that set us back. But the caution that came out, when it came out, I was screaming.
I bet you were. I bet you Cody Porter was screaming for a whole different reason. But
I know, right?
I tell you what, man, you guys put on a clinic of a race, and that's what we were talking with Cody about was even though he had lost and finished second, the level of racing that you guys put on at Indy, I mean, for 12 to 14 laps, man, was, I mean, just Jeremy and I had commented, very reminiscent of classic Indy, trying to work and break that draft, trying not to scrub speed off. I mean, so close in the corners, but not touching. And the move, the race winning move by yourself, where you got that run going down that backstretch and had him to where he couldn't enter that corner the exact way he wanted to, and he drifted up, which puts your nose on the inside. I mean, it was textbook, man. You put on a hell of a race. You did exactly what you had to get exactly where you're at right now, which is in victory lane. And what better way? I seen you were out there celebrating with Tim Henderson, which we appreciate that paint job from Tim, by the way. That was a nice tribute. I like that. We seen you celebrating with Scott Martin from Martin Sports. So I know that had to be a fantastic feeling for you, celebrating with all those guys.
Well, the thing with the sponsors, Scott, he's been, it just kind of was a crazy thing that happened, and all of a sudden I've got a sponsor, and I take it very seriously. I want to try to do the best I can, for those guys, and especially since he has something that has to do with iRacing and this sport's so important to me. I just really wanted to thank him because he's helped me get into some races, and he's really helped me and my team, and just the faith that he's got in me really helps me out. And Tim is my right hand man. He's got a sharp head, and he's a hell of a painter. And he's been working on that paint for a couple days now, maybe a week, I don't even remember. But I think it looked really sharp. I even told him when I saw it the first time, I said, that looks really good. Wish mine looked like that. But, everybody, the team that I started, everybody has their own job. And I just back away and try to let them do their job. And Tim does it, man. He does it. He does the paints good. He's our painter. And then we have Bradley. He's moved on to the B car. And this is kind of my last race in the truck. So, except for Road to Pro next year, of course. But you got to be fluent in all the cars. You can't be fluent in just one. So, we're moving on to Xfinity now.
What better way to end it, end your last run in the C-Class truck than with a victory at Indianapolis, man. It, like I said, you did a hell of a job. The nerds were proud to have see ourselves on your guys' truck, so it was a good thing, man. It really was. And I tell you what, it was touching. I appreciate that and all the work that you guys put into it.
I'd actually like to apologize to the nerds because for some reason I think Trade and Paint's messed up because this is not the paint job that was supposed to be on. There was supposed to be the yellow nerds on there, and it's not. I just noticed that, so I apologize for that, guys.
We don't take any ill intent to that, so not a problem. There'll be plenty of races. You just throw it on a B car. It'd be all right. But like I said, I mean, it's congratulations on your win. I mean, it's the last 18 laps were fun as hell to call, and definitely one of the best ways to be able to finish it out and calling somebody's first league win in the season finale, especially with the way that it worked out. So again, congratulations. But this is your moment. I know you've been waiting to sit here and shout out to people, give thanks to people, hoot and holler. This is your moment, man. You are a winner today.
My beautiful wife, Jennifer. Thank you so much, Jen, for being patient with me and letting me pretty much do whatever I want, which is very rare with a wife, but she's awesome. And the kids, they've been patient, while I've been working countless hours on this stupid thing. I really want to thank Chandler Hayden. He's the lead engineer over at DFCTR, and without him, I wouldn't be able to even know what a Motec line is. He's pretty much helped me for over a year now, and we're best friends pretty much. So I really appreciate his help. He's why I got them couple of Silver Crown wins, and I'd like to thank Nitro. You can go to nitroracing.com and get proven top split winning setups. Also like to thank Scott Martin, of course, and martinsports906.com. You can go there and get some awesome racing gloves and socks which I have a pair of grippy socks on right now. They're not the same socks, but they're exactly the same. And let me tell you, they make a difference. Yeah, pretty much all the guys at DFCTR, the Fat Caterpillar Team Racing. Yeah, I mean, all those guys, they come in, and George was supposed to be here, but he had a flat tire or something on the way home, so he didn't make it. But yeah, I just want to thank everybody and all the competitors this year, and I wish I would say that I would see y'all next year, and I know I registered, but and I'll probably end up having to withdraw my registration from there, but it's all good. I think Tim's still going to be here. And I think a couple other drivers want to race in this league because they know it's a good truck league. And you guys, of course, you guys have all season long have been here, calling whatever happens, and you know, I just wanted to make sure y'all had a good show, nobody wrecked, and yeah, that was an awesome race at the end. That was really fun. I really enjoy racing like that. That's how it should be. That feels almost real, especially with a VR headset on. You don't even know the difference.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you anymore. I mean, it was an excellent race. Thank you again for the kind words. We appreciate that. We've enjoyed every step of the way up to this point as well.
Yeah, and y'all can. I'll still be with you guys on Sundays, so this will be Sunday night. Starting this Sunday, we'll do the modified. So we'll see you over there, I guess, huh?
Absolutely. So again, thank you very much, Rich. We appreciate it. Glad that we were able to call your first Fired Up Esports League victory in such an awesome fashion as well. So again, thank you for putting on one hell of a show. But we're going to let you go and celebrate, get some nourishment, some sustenance, so to speak. And congratulations again, buddy.
Really appreciate it, Dustin. Thank you for all your hard work. I know you guys work your ass off for this, so appreciate it, man.
We appreciate that, buddy. And again, congratulations. That is your first place winner for the Fuels Final Dash for Cash, presented by Martin Sports. So that means that man right there gets himself a pair of Martin Sports sim racing gloves. And I tell you what, they are fantastic. I do not race without them whatsoever. But that is one Rich Malagani, the Fat Caterpillar himself, Jeremy. So I tell you what, it has been a fantastic season up to this point. I mean, we've seen so much stuff. Ups, downs, trials, tribulations. We've seen tempers flare. We've seen connections made. We've seen friendships built. I mean, it's been a good season all the way through, and then coming all the way up to seeing a first-time winner in the league and seeing a championship won by mere points. That's it.
Yeah, just a few points separated them. Teammates 1 and 2 in the championship. I mean, you can't ask for anything much more than that anyways. Yeah, once again, congratulations to Cody Porter on the championship. Richard Malagani on his first win of the season. Happened to be the last race of the season. And yeah, Dustin, this is it. This has been a hell of a ride with you for the Fired Up Esports League, and glad to be calling most of the shots with you, man. Even from my Taco Bell runs to, everything in between. And so just appreciation to you as well for all the hard work.
Absolutely. I always appreciate everything that you bring to the table as well. You definitely have that flair, that panache that you bring in that makes everybody feel like they know exactly what the hell you're talking about because of the way you explain it. So always enjoy being in the booth with you. I've enjoyed calling most of the races all the way through for the Fired Up Esports League. It's been a hell of a season. We appreciate all the connections and friendships that we've made. We appreciate all the support that the admins put in at Fired Up Esports League. We thank all the drivers that have chosen to participate here that we've had the privilege of calling all the race in action. Again, the ups, the downs, the victories, the losses. We've enjoyed every bit of that, from drop of the green flag at Daytona until the drop of the checkered flag here at Indy. It has been an excellent feeling all the way through. We want to thank all of the sponsors and partners along the way for Fired Up Esports League that we've had the privilege of working with throughout this season. A lot of them that we personally enjoy backing and supporting. So again, we want to thank all of them, and we will run through those sponsors one final time too before we bid our final farewell. But overall, the league itself, we want to thank you guys for everything that you've allowed us to do. We've tried and tested a number of things that have worked out, but it was a gamble nonetheless. We appreciate that every step of the way, and we appreciate the opportunity to make what you guys do, which was already good, and attempt to try to make it look even better. So again, we thank you guys for allowing us that opportunity, and wish you guys the best of luck on any future endeavors that you guys have, because it's always going to be great. So again, thank you guys for what you guys do. And before we go off, again, we can't go off without saying thanks to those sponsors, partners, supporters. So starting off first with Martin Sports. Again, Martin Sports Apparel, can't say enough. We stated it before. This is like wearing air. Beautiful craftsmanship. I mean, excellent products all the way around. I mean, it's Martin Sports. It looks like puked on me, but I tell you what, I wear it because it's comfortable shit. So again, always check out what they have to offer. You are not going to be disappointed. I am not a glove fan, but I do not race without gloves anymore. No lie. So check out what they have to offer. Always top-notch products, and home of the sim racing glove. The sim racing glove is none other than Martin Sports. That's martinsports906.com. Also want to give a shout out and thanks to Sticker Cabana. Again, Sticker Cabana, it's a title sponsor for the Truck Series. Been a pleasure working with you guys and being able to throw your logo up there and talk about you guys week in and week out. Excellent die-cut stickers all the way around. They do a fantastic job, have a huge arsenal of possibilities that you can choose from. So again, top-notch quality for a top-notch league. Jeremy couldn't have said it any better himself earlier. So again, we appreciate the ability to work with Sticker Cabana as well. So thank you again for allowing us that opportunity. NatureMed. I am a huge supporter of NatureMed, as again, leading dispensary in the Tucson area. Everything that they do, and for the reasons they do it, I back 110%. It has been my privilege to call and shout you guys out week in and week out and have your logo on the broadcast as well. Continue doing what you guys are doing. You guys do a fantastic job. For those that struggle with certain ailments, that some physical, some we don't see, that are mental, that's some of the best way that you can help them to try to live a normal life. And I tell you what, much respect for that. So again, keep doing what you guys are doing, and thank you guys for the opportunity to be able to call. We want to thank Butt Kicker as well. Butt Kicker, official audio partner of both Fired Up Esports League and for Nerditude. So again, I've had the privilege of being able to call Butt Kicker all race long. They have an excellent product. Go check out what they have. If you have a sim racing rig, you want to make it even better at a fraction of the cost, check them out. I tell you what, you are not going to be disappointed whatsoever. Check them out. Utilize promo code Fired Up or Nerd TV, either one. Save you a little bit of scratch on the side. Again, thank you very much, Sticker or Butt Kicker rather. And we also want to thank iRacing iFlag. Again, come on board as a partner for Nerditudes. Excellent product all the way around. Thank you for the opportunity to test out and get stuff working and really show what we can do and how we can support you through the Fired Up Esports League, and thank the Fired Up Esports League for that opportunity as well. So again, much appreciation, much love all the way around. Check out what they have at iRacingIFlag.com. Promo code SuperNerd. Save you 15%. Excellent products. Jeremy, with that, it's that time, man. Time to make that final farewell and that final adieu.
Yeah, time to hang it up for Nerditudes. You know, we're not going anywhere as far as content on the channel. We got racing coming up on Sunday, and then in the near future here, and Mondays and Wednesdays. Plus, anything else in between gaming related, you know where to go for us on most of the social media platforms: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We're all there, all under one banner, Nerditudes. But as far as the Fired Up Esports Leagues go, you've already said thanks. I got to say thank you again if I have not said it already. It's been a hell of a time calling all the races with you guys this entire season, from the craziness at Martinsville and Arlington to some of the better racing that we've seen, some last lap passes, some excellent racing like tonight towards the end of the event, and getting to see Cody Porter pull this thing off after missing 2 races, just pounded out, got win after win. And we've had a lot of different scenarios happen, and it's been a pleasure to sit beside you, Dustin, calling Fired Up Esports League's races. But all, like you said before, all good things come to an end, and so it's time to move on, do different things, and it's been a great time, man.
Absolutely. And with that, thank all of you guys out there for tuning in, for watching. Without you guys, we would just be sitting here talking to ourselves. So again, thank you guys for being out there, for following us. And we look forward to seeing what the Fired Up Esports League can do in 2022. So again, thank you guys. Bid you guys farewell. Have a great night.